Okay. Alright, can you hear me now? Good, you can hear me. That's good. And that's delicious. It's cereal, by the way. In case you were wondering. You probably wasn't wondering. But yeah. Probably should have got a drink for this. Oh, this is okay. Not bad. Okay. Okay, so basically you can see me, you can hear me, and that's good, because if you couldn't hear me or see me, then that would be pointless. So just to confirm, in the comments, just let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, and there's no problems. That way I can get on with what I came here to do, basically. I'm pretty sure it's working now though. So hi guys, I know I've kind of been away from the channel for like about a month, which is a little bit long to stay away, but I've been working on things. I got a few things like animating. I've been doing drawings and such, so do expect a lot of videos coming up pretty much within the next week. And yeah, so that is, let's actually get on with the title of this video, which is The 12th Doctor, which was announced on Sunday. And obviously I watched that show. I can hear you, I can see you, I can hear you, and I see your problems. Okay, good. Okay, so 12th Doctor. Okay, my initial thoughts on the 12th Doctor when they actually revealed him was I don't know, basically before they announced the Doctor, I saw on Facebook a picture of Peter, and this was before, just literally about an hour before the announcement was made, and there was a major rumours going around that it was actually going to be Peter Capaldi as the 12th Doctor. And the picture I saw of him was actually him with like a moustache and a sort of goatee, and I instantly went, he'd be perfect as the Master. And then, obviously, I was watching the programme, they announced him and he came on stage. I was like, okay, that's the Doctor. And I don't have any initial problems with it, really. I mean, I don't mind that he's old. It doesn't really bother me at all. Though I have to say, let's not get any of this wrong, because I don't want to split something out and everyone be like just getting down my throat saying I'm not a Doctor Who fan or anything like that, because I am a Doctor Who fan. I've watched it pretty much since I was a little kid, when it was just reruns of the classic series, and then obviously ever since it's come back. And I know the Doctor has been old in loads of different incarnations. I loved the second Doctor, Patrick Troughton. He was one of my favourite Doctors. So I have no issues with him being old. But, that said, I do prefer when the Doctor's younger. So I was a little bit, I suppose, disappointed in that sense, but at the same time, I'm not going to just stop watching the show, and I'm not disappointed in the actor, because from what I've heard and what I've seen of him in clips, because I've never actually watched him anything other than Torchwood itself and Doctor Who itself, so I'm okay with the actor. That said, as I said, I would have preferred a younger actor, and I think it's actually quite a bold move for the current series of Doctor Who, because ever since it came back, I mean, ever since 1996 with the TV movie, the Doctor's always been played and portrayed by a younger man, with Paul McGann, Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant and Matt Smith, all of them, you know, decently, fairly young actors. So it would have made sense if they would have made the next Doctor, the 12th Doctor, a younger Doctor. But it's going to be interesting where they're going to take this, because obviously with the new series as well, we've seemed to have a influx of companion and Doctor sort of shipping, and I think that's going to change. Maybe River Song's still going to be in it because Moffat, as I said, her character's not exactly finished, and they're more on par with Visible Age, so I suppose that will make sense now, which is a good thing because with Matt and Alex Kingston, it didn't really make much sense to me, to be honest, and that kind of annoyed me. So that's going to be interesting. I think that's going to work now, maybe. But yeah, so the 12th Doctor. What do you guys think of the 12th Doctor? You know, where do I think the series is going to go with the casting of the Doctor looking like this? Because when he, as I said before, he kind of, as I said before at the beginning, when I first saw his image on Facebook, like an hour before the announcement, I said he looked like the Master, and that means I think he looks a little bit evil, and I don't think he's going to be evil exactly, but I do think this Doctor is going to be much darker than he has ever been before. And if you've noticed with the current series, Matt Smith's Doctor is increasingly getting darker as he goes through his life. And basically, I think something's going to happen in the Christmas special that's going to tip him over the edge, and that's how he will regenerate. And when he regenerates, he's going to become this vengeful Doctor in a sense, due to his past experiences. Granted, I don't really know that's going to happen. It's just a thought, really. But also as well, connecting this back to the classic series, we all know, or at least most of us know, of the Veil Yard. If you don't know who the Veil Yard is, he was briefly mentioned in The Name of the Doctor, and he stems from an episode, or a series of episodes called Trial of a Time Lord, where the 6th Doctor was put on trial, and it turns out at the end of it, spoilers in case no one's ever seen Trial of a Time Lord, it turned out the Veil Yard was actually a future incarnation of the Doctor, and the Veil Yard is essentially the amalgamism of everything that is evil within the Doctor, and will apparently show up somewhere in between his 12th and final incarnation. And if it is the 12th Doctor, then we're nearly at that point. Of course, it says between the 12th and final, it doesn't actually say the 12th and 13th, so therefore it could mean the 12th and 52nd. I don't know. But it's just a thought, really, of where it could go. Not to mention with the whole John Hurt thing, doing something during the Time War, supposedly to make him called something else other than the Doctor. So that's interesting as well. Yeah. So again, I'm going to ask you some questions. I want you to answer them, and I want you to ask me some questions as well. This doesn't have to completely continue in about Doctor Who. It's just the sort of thing I just wanted to start with. That said, I do actually want to show you a drawing that my girlfriend has done. She did it yesterday, just while I was busy with something else, and that text message right now that you probably just heard in the background is probably my girlfriend. So I probably should answer that text message in a second. But first, I will show you this picture that she drew yesterday of a Dalek. So here we go. Can you see that? I'm not sure if you can see that. There we go. So yeah, my girlfriend can draw too. So yeah, I was going to answer that text message because yeah, just a second. I'm doing a live show. Love you. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Send. Okay. Let's take a look at some of these comments in a second. Right. I can't. Sound. I think the 12th Doctor is going to be really good, and I agree with you on the darker tone. Yeah, I agree. I think it's gonna be a big contrast from the quirky Matt Smith, definitely much darker. It's how he looks, I think. I think he's gonna be more tragic character, more of a tragic character. That makes sense. Nice. I assume the nice was for the Dalek picture. Yes, I do think he's going to be more of a tragic character because I think when you think about Matt Smith's tenure as a Doctor, he's gone through a lot of pain, essentially travelling on his own for like 2,000 years or so. Well, not 2,000. There's a big massive gap between him going back to the ponds, and then obviously the ponds being taken away from him. The whole sort of moments where he decided to become a recluse. So clearly from all these experiences, it's going to bottle up, and then when he becomes the 12th Doctor, he's just going to unleash upon the universe, which, if you're an enemy of the Doctor at this point, you probably should be shaking in your boots. But yeah, he's definitely going to be a completely different contrast to the current series, not just because of Matt's quirkiness, which I will miss immensely, by the way, but just because of the guy's age, it's completely different from what we've had for the past how many years has it been? 7, 8 years? Yeah, 8 years. No, 9. How many years has it been since 2005? I don't know. Well, yeah, so that's something. Who did you want to play the Doctor? Who did I want to play the Doctor? Well, other than myself. That's a good question. The thing is, I've got a few choices that I would love to see as a Doctor. One of them is, I think it's, what's his name? He played Charles Xavier in X-Men Origins, X-Men First Class. Is it James McAvoy? James McAvoy I would think would make a brilliant Doctor. The new Q in Skyfall. Again, I think I would like to see him as the Doctor. Well, there's quite a few choices, really, and I can't really think of the top of my head. But there's two, James McAvoy and Q from Skyfall. I think James McAvoy is his name. I could be completely wrong. You know what I'm talking about. Charles Xavier from First Class. Yeah. The thing is that when I was watching the unveiling of the show, what did you think of Doctor Who live? I mean, other than the unveiling, I mean, it was a bit crap, to be honest. We had Peter Davidson, and that was really it for the Doctor. We had Nick Cribbins, who didn't actually say anything, and then we had Rufus Hound, who made a complete fool of himself. So that was about it, really. It was a bit crap. I honestly did expect we was going to finally get the 50th anniversary trailer showing on that, but we didn't, which was again a bit crap. The only thing I did actually like about it was when Matt Smith was talking about the next Doctor without actually revealing it. I thought it was funny that everybody who was talking about him, who knew who it was, kept on saying person rather than him, to sort of keep up the guys that they were going to possibly choose a woman to play the Doctor. Then Matt Smith just goes, yeah, he's a great actor. I thought that was funny. How about this weather, eh? I know, yeah, it's summer, or it's supposed to be summer. Speaking of summer, who's going to Summer in the City? Because I remember reading a post about the weather, about a cloakroom, and they're saying that there's going to be no cloakroom. But there's going to be a bag drop-off, but there's going to be no place to put coats. And then in the same blog post they said, but judging by the fact that it's summer, no one's going to probably bring coats. Just looking outside, I kind of disagree with that. I think everybody's going to be having coats in Summer in the City, because I think it's going to be raining. Luckily, for Summer in the City, we'll be inside, so it's not so bad. So yeah, I'm going to Summer in the City, and I want to know if any of you guys are going to Summer in the City, and if you are, please let me know, because I can say hi and stuff, and that'd be awesome. Yeah. So who did? So I'm glad to know that a majority of people are quite happy with the choice of the Doctor. I mean, as I said, I never watched him in Skins or that other program that he was in. And then as soon as someone pointed it out to me and I looked him up on YouTube and then saw all those videos of him swearing, I just sort of thought, okay, as soon as he becomes the 12th Doctor, as soon as he's filmed a couple of series, or his first series, we're going to have an influx of videos on YouTube of people splicing together voice clips of him from Skins and the 12th Doctor together, and he's going to be basically just calling Daleks left, right and centre, obscenities and swear words, and it will just be crazy. I can just imagine like some like 10-year-old kids just like looking up, just looking up the 12th Doctor on YouTube, trying to find some tribute videos, and someone's just going to splice in all this swearing into it, and it's just going to be hilarious. It's just going to be one of the funniest things I'm ever going to see on the internet. So I'm looking forward to the fan videos on YouTube the most. I think that's going to be probably the greatest thing that's going to happen ever. So yeah, that's something. Oh, I'm just going to put this fez on because why not? Didn't like the presenter, felt really awkward and forced. Yeah, the presenter was awful. Oh my god. Zoe Ball, was it? I felt a bit when Matt Smith was referring to the Doctor as a he, and it cuts back to her, and she just starts going, oh, but we don't know if it's going to be a girl, even though he clearly just said he. Damn you, Matt Smith, for making my job more difficult. She was just not the right choice for the host. Everything felt rushed, really. I mean, I can see why it was rushed, because it was a surprise. But I just felt it just didn't work. I think, I mean, the rumours going around before the show was even announced was the 12th Doctor was going to be announced on a special version of Doctor Who Confidential, which would have been amazing, because, well, hey, would have had Doctor Who Confidential back, at least for one episode. And we didn't get that, which was a bit crap again. Anyway, do you really think you'll be the last Doctor, or do you think the writers will somehow get around it? Yes, if the show is still popular, which, let's face it, it will be, there will be definitely a way around the 12th incarnation of the Doctor. I mean, technically, if we don't count John Hurt, there is another Doctor after him. If we do count John Hurt, then yes, this is the 13th Doctor, not the 12th, and he is the final incarnation of the Doctor. But this is my theory of what they're going to do. Riversong gave the Doctor her regenerations. That's simple as that. Or the Time Lords will return and grant him more regenerations. One of those two will happen, and that is definitely going to be a thing. Do you like the fact that the 12th Doctor is Scottish? David Tennant was Scottish, so not a problem with him being Scottish, because David Tennant was Scottish. So, but it just, the thing is though about the new Doctor and his Scottish accent, I'm wondering if he's actually going to use his Scottish accent, or if he's going to try and pull a David Tennant and make a British English accent. That's a good question. I think he might do a British accent, an English British accent, rather than a Scottish one for the role, for consistency's sake. But at the same time, he might not. And to be fair, I really don't care. I think his voice is fine, so I don't think it'll make too much of a difference. But I do think they probably might try to make him do a British English accent. But yeah, going back to the whole incarnation thing of the Doctor, the 12th incarnation, the 13th incarnation, I don't think it will be the last. I think they will write something to get around it, and I think they already have done. I think the Riversong giving the Doctor her remaining regenerations basically gave him more regenerations. So yeah, that's their work around it. I would think. So I just got a new comment. Let me just check the comment. How would you have felt if the new Doctor was a girl? Okay, that question I'm gonna probably have to tread really carefully with this one, and I'm gonna just point out that I'm not sexist. I love strong women in roles in TV or movies or games or whatever, but it's just my view. I've always seen the Doctor as a male character because all 12 incarnations are males up to now, and I would feel a little bit disappointed. I wouldn't stop watching the show necessarily. I would watch it. I'd give the girl a chance, whoever it was, but I would probably be watching it with a bit of gritted teeth, to be honest. Because, as I said, to me, the Doctor is a male character, and I understand that Time Lords can change sex because of one throwaway line in The Doctor's Wife. So, and if you want to count that as canon, it technically is canon, but it was a throwaway line. And here's the thing that you have to remember. No other Time Lord, at least in the show, has ever actually regenerated and changed sex. I mean, we've had the Master, and he's always been a male, and then we had a character called the Rani, which essentially is just a Master, but as a female, and if the original writers wanted the characters to change sex, then why not just make the Master regenerate into a woman rather than making a new character? So to me, the original writers of the show didn't want that to be possible, and then obviously the new writers now want it to be or something. So my view is, until they actually do it, it's not physically possible for a Time Lord to change sex, and the line in The Doctor's Wife was a lie by the Doctor. But if it happens, it happens, and I will still watch the show. I wish these comments would update a little better. Sometimes you have to keep refreshing the page to read them, which is a bit awkward, to be honest. Getting feedback, that's not what we want. Are we getting feedback? I can't tell, I just had to mute things. Let me know if we're getting feedback, because I started getting some feedback then. Yeah, so I'm not sure if I'm getting feedback. I'm not sure if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if there's any feedback. Okay. So, I've got a new comment. Are you looking forward to the 50th anniversary? Yes, I am looking forward to the 50th anniversary, but there is a few things that have really disappointed me this year with the 50th anniversary. Can you guys see that? That's my neighbor. That's my neighbor. Yeah, that was my neighbor. I don't know if you heard that then, but yeah. What's this point about? But anyway, sorry about that. I just got distracted. The 50th. The reason I was disappointed with the 50th anniversary was because we're missing a series. We didn't get Series 8 this year, and it's the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who. Why skip a series? What happened to Series 8? And in case some of you might be thinking, well, we did get a series of Doctor Who this year. It was aired quite early on, and it starred Clara Oswald as the girl who with the mystery. But really, that was just Series 7 Part 2. So we didn't get Series 8, and that's technically a continuation of last year. Sorry. Anyway, so basically, with us missing that series, I expected. This is what I expected. An entire series, Series 8, which would have been like dedicated to the 50th. So like maybe, so that way we can have one big storyline leading up to the 50th. Maybe having Doctors through in left, right, and centre. You know, like from the classic Doctors, rather than just having a one-off special, which is going to be about 2 hours long, I would assume, since it's going to be in the cinemas, which is something that I do genuinely think is quite awesome. Well, this is awkward. Yeah, a little bit awkward. I don't know anything about Doctor Who. It's too complicated for me, so I'm just here because TheCartoonLoon is handsome and a cool guy, and I like looking at his pretty face. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. You should watch Doctor Who, though, because it is a really good show. But, but you don't have to. I'm not going to force you, obviously. So the 50th anniversary being in the cinemas will be pretty cool. I will definitely try and go and see that in the cinemas. But there's a lot of things this year that the BBC itself has been disappointing me in. I don't know if any of you know that the Series 7 box set is going to be coming out, I think, in October. And we are getting it about, the 50th anniversary, not the 50th anniversary, the Series 7 box set is going to come out in October in this country, in the UK, whereas America is getting it in September, which seems a bit backwards to me, simply because it's a British television series and I expect to get the DVD box set before the Americans, just as I expect that they would get their DVD box sets before the UK. Second thing that annoyed me about that was, but has been fixed, was the fact that the line, the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe is now going to be on, originally on the Series 7 box set, the Christmas special, the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe was not going to be on the British version of the box set, but was going to be on the American version of the box set. But because of all the complaints they got in, they actually fixed that, so that's good, despite the fact that I really don't like that episode. Basically, I like collecting the episodes, and I didn't really want to buy that episode separately because I don't like it, so I'm glad it's on the box set for that reason. But yeah, that was a bit awkward. That happens quite often, actually, believe it or not. Yeah, so the 50th anniversary, I don't think the BBC is really doing enough for the 50th anniversary, because every other country, like America, Australia, is getting the classic reruns on the BBC, whereas in this country we're not getting that sort of stuff. So I just kind of think we should be getting that sort of stuff on this channel. Yeah. So I think the thing that really has annoyed me over the 50th anniversary was last year in an interview, Stephen Moffat said, this year we're going to get more Doctor Who than ever before, and we're a season down, we technically, all the Doctor Who we've had this year is Series 7 Part 2, which is about 6 episodes, off the top of my head, and eventually we'll get the 50th anniversary, and then we'll get the Christmas special, which is about, I'd say, the equivalent of 10 episodes, which is less, considerably less episodes of Doctor Who than we would normally get a year, and this is the 50th anniversary. Sorry, a little bit of a rant there. I would say I was disappointed that there's no classic Doctors in the 50th anniversary special, but to be fair, we don't actually know that yet. Not sure if you've talked about it yet, but what are your thoughts about the trailer being out at Comic-Con and it not being available for everyone else yet? Well, there's a lot of seasons of Doctor Who, right? Where do I start to watch it? Like, which season? Okay, I'll answer the trailer, the Comic-Con trailer first, and then I'll answer the which season to start with. Okay, yes, I'm very angry about the Comic-Con trailer not being aired anywhere else. I mean, at the end of the day, we, the British people, pay TV licensing, which is the very thing that the BBC is funded by, so therefore, we pay for this show. So why should an exclusive trailer appear in Comic-Con? We pay for this, we should get this trailer. Now, don't get me wrong, I kind of understand the idea that people who are paying for Comic-Con kind of need something exclusive, and that's fine, but I'm more okay with showing it there first, waiting a week, and then showing it here, or maybe 2 weeks and then showing it here, and then that would be cool. I'll be fine with that. And that's the thing that I was disappointed with Doctor Who Live. I kind of expected they would show the trailer on that as a sort of an apology. Just 1 second. What?
I'll add some other stuff to it.
Right.
Because I might do a bit extra, and then if you want it, well, I might look at it as well.
Okay.
Okay.
I think the main thing about this live show is the simple fact that I just keep getting food randomly given to me. It's good. It's good when that happens. Yeah, so I'm really disappointed about not seeing this trailer, and I'm also really disappointed no one's put it online. Like, just filmed it and put it online. I mean, the thing is, Stephen Moffat threatened that if anybody put this trailer online, that there would be no more Doctor Who Comic-Con exclusives, exclusive trailers in Comic-Con. And I've just sat there thinking, I don't give a shit about there not being any more Comic-Con exclusives at Comic-Con. That's just shooting yourself in the foot, because, hey, I wouldn't get to see it anyway, so why would I care? Anyway, there are a lot of seasons of Doctor Who. Yes, there is a ridiculous amount of seasons of Doctor Who because it's 50 years old. But I suggest if you're going to start watching it, you can either start from the very beginning, which I don't recommend. Not because it's bad, it's just that it's going to take ages to get to where you need to be today. So I suggest at least starting from 2005, being the Christopher Eccleston first episode, because it pretty much explains everything, what the Doctor is and who we need, and you know what the entire premise of the show. It explains where the Doctor's been, but without really throwing it on you. Basically, it's a very good gateway into the new series because it doesn't rely on you knowing any knowledge about the Doctor previously. But if you're a classic fan of the series, you can see where it stems off from. Or you can start from, I'd say, Matt Smith's beginning, because the 11th Hour again does the same thing. It reintroduces the Doctor, it reintroduces the concept, it reintroduces the companions and such. The reason I didn't say David Tennant as a starting point is because he starts off with Rose, and Rose is already an established character by this point, and then after that you're starting with an established Doctor. So David Tennant's not really a good starting point, but if you want to get to David Tennant, it's not going to take long because Christopher Eccleston only has one season. So yeah, I recommend either the very first episode of 2005, which is the Christopher Eccleston one, or the very first episode with Matt Smith in it, which is called The 11th Hour, and then just take it from there. Or probably the 12th Doctor, maybe, depending on what happens. The 12th Doctor might be a good starting point, actually, considering we're getting a new Doctor. And that usually is a good starting point. Granted, you probably won't understand who Clara is, but you probably pick it up pretty quickly. So either the 9th, the 11th, and possibly the 12th, depending upon what happens in that episode. Yeah, so that's what you should start off with. So, going back to the Comic-Con trailer, what do you feel about the Comic-Con trailer? What did you think? Did you think they should have showed it in this country? Do you think that? There's 8. No, I meant 7. Where there's a lot of seasons of Doctor Who, right? Where do I? There's 8. No, I meant 7. The trailer will be up sometime. Well, technically, there's a lot more than 8 series. There's 7 series of the new Doctor Who. 8 if you include the specials with David Tennant in it. But when you really think about it, this show's been going since 1963, so there's more like 28 series, I think. I could be wrong about that. I'm not entirely sure how many seasons there actually is altogether, technically. But I think it's somewhere like 28, 30, something like that. It's a ridiculously high number. The trailer will end up somewhere else, so it's not that exclusive. It's not like you sign a waiver that if you record it, you'll sacrifice your family to Satan. Oh god, that's funny. What is your favourite episode from the last series? My favourite episode from Series 7 is let's see. I'm going to say, because Series 7 was split into 2 parts, so I'm going to say my favourite episode from Part 1 and my favourite episode from Part 2. My favourite episode from Part 1 would be either Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, because dinosaurs on a spaceship, not to mention that ending to that episode was just awesome, or The Power of Three. And a lot of people don't like The Power of Three, and I think the ending was a little bit rushed in The Power of Three, but I really liked that episode simply because it was reminiscent of the Russell T Davies era of Doctor Who, and it was kind of nostalgic in a sense. I need to learn to speak. In Series 7 Part 2, my favourite episode's either Hyde, which was just a fantastic episode, which was a little bit disappointed with the ending, but still, again, a really good, solid episode, or Cold Blood, possibly Cold Blood, that was a good one. Crimson Horror was a really good one. Rings of Akaton was, I also think, was very good, though wasn't my favourite. I don't know why people don't like that episode, but you know. Yeah, so that's something. Yeah, I'm going to say Hyde was probably my favourite overall of Series 7. My least episode of Series 7 was probably either Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS or Asylum of the Daleks, which is funny because when I first watched both of those episodes, I went away really buzzed, really liking the episode, and then I rewatched it and I was just like, this is kind of crap. I mean, it's a bit crap. Asylum of the Daleks, the reason, let's just go into the reason why I did not like Asylum of the Daleks, and basically sort of retread on something that I made about a year ago now, saying how I loved it. Let's go back to that. Asylum of the Daleks was awful because it didn't feature every Dalek ever. It technically kind of did. It had them in the background doing nothing. I mean, there was what's it called? The really tank-like Dalek from Remembrance of the Daleks. What's it called? Heavy Weapons Dalek. Heavy Weapons Dalek was in the episode and it did nothing. And that disappointed me to no end. I was so disappointed by that fact. The second thing that annoyed me about it was the Ponds breaking up with a divorce, which was just pointless. It didn't go anywhere. I expected it was going to be like a running sort of subplot throughout the series, but no, it was just, oh, we're not together anymore. Oh, we're together now. Pointless. And then I think one of my bits that just absolutely just peed me right off was the bit when the Doctor, just before he meets Clara, just before he meets that Dalek, he goes into a room which is called the Intensive Care Unit, and it has about 4 or 5 Daleks in that room, and these Daleks are the Daleks that survived past encounters with the Doctor, and it references about 4 different planets, or 4 different points in time, which is actually a reference to the classic series, and you can actually place an episode with each one of these Daleks. And these Daleks are the Russell T Davies Daleks, rather than the classic Daleks, which were on set, which they had. So there was no excuse for them to look like that when they were there on set. Why didn't you use them? The only thing I did like about the episode was obviously Clara, because it was such a shock to see her in that episode. The ending, when she turned out to be a Dalek, that was just... And the Daleks forgetting the Doctor. I don't know why people... I understand why people don't like that, but I like that, because it kind of rebooted them in a sense without actually rebooting them. And it's kind of interesting how it's going to turn out. Yeah. My problem with the Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS was quite a few things. Not as much as Asylum, but there was quite a few things wrong with that episode as well. I think the old reset button at the end of it was just ridiculous. Made sense, but was ridiculous. Let's see. Clara staying with the Doctor in Season 8. I think she is. At the moment, she signed on for Season 8, but anything could happen in the 50th and in the Christmas special, but I assume she's staying for Season 8. Dinosaurs on a spaceship, because science. Yep, that is science of the future and the past somehow. Most fans can't afford to spend over 1,000 in flights and tickets, therefore all Moffat has done is excluded about 95% of fandom. I think it should have aired in Britain first. Well, that's the thing. Comic-Con was going on in London as well as America, and it was also going on in the Manchester one, and I don't think I would have minded as much if they made an exclusive trailer for all of the Comic-Cons, like including the Manchester one, including the London one, and then eventually released it, because at least then British people could have actually gone to these events. I mean, granted it would have been a bit expensive, but I would have been a bit more, okay, kind of fair enough, but just showing it exclusively in the San Diego one was a bit, yeah, no, that's a really bad decision, stop it. But I'm still excited for the 50th. Yeah, I am still excited for the 50th, though. As I said, I'm a bit disappointed with certain aspects of the 50th. But yeah, I'm still enjoying it. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I understand every single Doctor except the 8th Doctor. Can you explain anything about the 8th Doctor? The 8th Doctor was played by Paul McGann in a one-off TV movie. He starred in a bunch of like radio dramas as well, but the radio dramas, Big Finish audio dramas, I do not consider canon. So everything that's happened to the 8th Doctor in the audio dramas, I do not consider canon. You can consider canon if you want, but I don't, because the simple reason is not everyone's going to listen to these. So it's kind of irrelevant. And certain things have been contradicted in the audio series. But anyway, to explain the 8th Doctor, basically back in 1985, 6, I think. I can't remember when it was first cancelled. But the 7th Doctor was obviously the last classic Doctor. And they tried in 1996 to reboot the series. with a co-production with Fox Studios in America. And Paul McGann was hired to be the Doctor, and basically he was hired because he had this long sort of wavy hair, and he was also a really good actor, but the producers of the show really liked the long wavy hair. And literally, like a week before filming, McGann shaved off his hair because he wanted his Doctor to look sort of badass, and he felt like the short-haired Doctor would work. And the producers were like, "No, you're wearing a wig." So he ended up wearing a wig during the film. But anyway, so in the film, if you've not seen it, the 8th Doctor gets essentially shot by some gang members, and he regenerates into the 8th Doctor in the film and scares the crap out of the morgue people because he's in a morgue, which is a hilarious scene. And yeah, I mean, what exactly do you want me to explain about the 8th Doctor that you don't? What exactly is it you don't understand? Like, so I can get a bit more of an idea how to answer this question. I can go into his character. I can explain what happened to him. I can explain more about the movie. Why are you thinking of that about that? Basically, though, the film was all done. It was broadcasted in this country and in America, and in America it did abysmally. It was so poorly received because it was so poorly advertised, and it was shown during a time, I think the Super Bowl was on at the same time as it. So pretty much everyone in America was like, yeah, we're watching the Super Bowl, we're not going to watch Doctor Who, or in their case Doctor What, because they probably didn't know what it was. But in this country it did quite well, and Fox didn't decide to continue the series in America, but the BBC wanted to continue the series over here because of how well it did. But if they did in 1996, Fox would have still owned it. And because the BBC realised there was a market for Doctor Who, they didn't really want Fox to have anything to do with it anymore. So they convinced Fox that it did crap in this country, even though it didn't. And then when the rights reverted back to the BBC somewhere in 2003, the new series started being filmed. And then obviously in 2005, we have what we have today. But yeah, so what is it about the 8th Doctor that you don't understand? And I'll try and explain about the Doctor, the 8th Doctor. I'm getting a bit dry. Sneaky BBC. I know. There's something else that that I find interesting about Doctor Who and certain things like this behind the scenes stuff. There's the Daleks almost never came back for the 2005 series because Terry Nation, the creator of the Daleks, didn't want to give the BBC the rights to use them anymore. Because has anyone ever seen a film called Looney Tunes Back in Action with Brendan Fraser and Steve Martin? Funny film. I like that film. I don't know if you like the film, but I liked it. There's a bit in that film where they go to Area 51 and there's a Dalek in the building, and the Dalek starts exterminating people in that building. Well, they didn't get permission to use that Dalek, which Terry Nation, well, the Terry Nation estate, wasn't best pleased with. And as a result of that, they were very reluctant to give the BBC the rights to use the Daleks again. But Steve Martin, who was in the film, is a very big fan of Doctor Who. So he literally picked up the phone, rang up the Terry Nation's estate and just went, look, we're sorry for using the Dalek in our movie. We sincerely apologise, but please let the BBC use the Daleks in the current series. So after that phone call, Terry Nation then agreed to put the Daleks in the TV series and the actual current license for the Daleks in the current series is actually they have to appear at least once a year. That's why the Daleks have been in every single season of Doctor Who since its return, because they have to, otherwise the BBC will lose the rights to them. And I'm pretty sure the BBC do not want to lose the rights to the Daleks. And since before the announcements of the Daleks in the 50th anniversary, I thought it was fairly obvious that it was going to be in it because they've not appeared this year yet. Anyway, his character. Okay, the character of the Eighth Doctor. Well, in the film, he starts off not knowing who he is because his regeneration. When I said the Seventh Doctor was killed by a gang warfare fight, he wasn't technically killed. He was just shot and injured, and as a result, he went straight to the hospital because somebody found him for an ambulance, and he got to the hospital. And because he was shot in the chest, surgery was started on him, and basically, because obviously the human doctors think that this doctor, this person, is human, they don't realise he has two hearts, and they end up essentially accidentally ripping open his heart and killing him, basically, on the operating table. And the companion, which is the doctor that works on this surgery, is called Grace, and she is absolutely adamant that the guy had two hearts, and she basically didn't want to do certain things and accidentally ends up killing him. She explains it wasn't her fault because the X-ray showed he had two hearts, but everyone thought it was a double negative, etc., etc., etc. Anyway, point is, Sylvester McCoy, the Seventh Doctor, dies and then gets put in the morgue in the hospital. And when he regenerates, he has this sort of outburst of strength, and because of the anaesthesia during the operation stage, I assume he loses his memory a bit, and he literally punches down a metal door, and the guy who gets completely shits himself because he's terrified, and he just walks out and he just starts shouting, "Who am I?" Blah 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 blah. And he finds Grace Holloway, trying to find out who himself is, and eventually he learns who he is, and his character is a sort of very suave, very but still sort of down to earth, sort of slightly posh sort of character. He's technically wearing a fancy dress costume, technically, because he steals it from a locker. Which movie was this? Sorry, I want to see the cartoon Dalek. Oh, you're about Looney Tunes Back in Action. It wasn't actually a cartoon Dalek, it was an actual full-on Dalek. It was literally an actual, model Dalek. Because it's Looney Tunes Back in Action is essentially the same as Space Jam, Roger Rabbit, with the Looney Tunes and real people in it. So when they go to Area 51, there's a bunch of cartoon aliens running around, and there's a bunch of movie aliens running around, and one of them is a Dalek. Anyway, that's the Looney Tunes Back in Action. But anyway, back to the Eighth Doctor. So he's basically just sort of posh, sort of Doctor who's down to earth. He's the one that started the kissing trend. He's the one who's essentially a romantic at heart, and reveals and also the one thing about this Doctor, he reveals to everyone's dismay, well, not mine, because I thought it was a genius idea, but everyone else seems to not like it, and if you don't like it, please tell me, but he reveals to Grace that he's half human on his mother's side. And yeah, so that means, canonically, the Doctor is technically half human. And the reason I don't have a problem with it is because it makes sense, because why else would he love Earth more than every other planet in the universe, other than Gallifrey? Because his mother's from Earth. But yeah, I don't know why people don't like that. Well, there you go. As for what happens after that, no one really knows. As I said, these are the audio dramas to get a more sense of his character. Again, the audio dramas to me are not canon, but the Doctor's character in the audio dramas is obviously what that Doctor would be. And as I said, eventually he does start to go a bit darker, and obviously leading up to the Time War, which is explored somewhat in the audio dramas, not the Time War, but the lead up to it. So I do recommend listening to Paul McGann's stuff, because he is such a good Doctor, and it's a shame that he only got the film to do what he had to do and didn't get a series. But at the same time, I'm so glad the American TV series didn't kick off, because I read there was some script ideas of how and where it was going to go, and one of the areas it was going to go was the Doctor and the Master turn out to be brothers, and they go on a trip together trying to find their father, and that just sounds awful. So I'm really glad that that never happened. But the half-human thing, though, did happen, so that's the fact. And I want to know your opinions on the Doctor being half-human. Okay, thanks. Do you listen to Big Finish stories? Yeah, I do listen to some of the Big Finish stories. I don't actually go out my way to listen to them. But I have listened to a few Paul McGann ones, and I do really like them. But the reason I don't invest that much time in them is because, as I said before, I don't consider them canon. So I don't want to invest my time in something that isn't canon to the show when I could be watching the show and getting more information from the show. But yeah, so that's that. So yeah, any more questions on Paul McGann, I can answer it, or try to answer it. Or any Doctor, really, if you want to know about. But yeah, I do listen to, as I said, I listen to some of the Big Finish sort of stories. Yeah. I do recommend them, though. They are really good. I got a Facebook message. I'm going to check the Facebook message. It's pretty much nothing. I don't care about the Facebook message. Yeah. So let's put on the chair. I was in Forbidden Planet the other week, and I got a Matt Smith and a Dalek action figure. It was a Comic-Con exclusive that I bought in Forbidden Planet. Yeah. So much for Comic-Con exclusives, eh guys? But yeah, it was about £16, and it's got a fairly big Dalek in it and another figure, and I felt that it was the cheapest one there for the most things that you get. So that's why I went with that. I have a slight problem with it though. On the paint job is like a little bit of chip of paint that's like sort of sticking out of his cheek. That looks a bit awkward. I would show you, but I don't think it comes up on camera that well. But yeah, there's probably some new people in here. So hi, new people. If you're watching, you might not have seen this. My girlfriend drew this picture of a Dalek last night, and I just thought I'd show you. So I'm just gonna show you guys, or girls, or whatever. This is the picture she drew of a Dalek. Yeah. Let me know what you think of it. I didn't draw that. My girlfriend drew it. I think it's really good. And yeah, I'm hoping maybe she can do some speed arts for the channel at some point. But that's entirely up to you guys if you want to see that. But yeah. Oh yeah, see my t-shirt? Not my t-shirt? Daleks impersonating the Doctors. That's just awesome. I'm going to wear a fez for a bit, because why not? I'm personally fine with the Doctor being half-human, but I really find the continuity error with Donna amusing when the Doctor said that a half-human, half-time would never happen. Yeah, I thought that too. Donna... Yeah, that I remember watching that episode and thinking the exact same thing about him saying that to Donna about the half-human thing. And it's like, but Doctor, aren't you half-human? But I think the way to explain that, at least my personal way of explaining that, is that Donna was a human turned into a half-time lord, half-human, whereas the Doctor was born that way. So I think there's a fundamental difference there, maybe. And the thing is, as well, about humans becoming Time Lords, I don't know if any of you know this, but Ace, which is my personal favourite companion of the 7th Doctor, well, my personal favourite companion overall, and it was the Seventh Doctor's companion. She was originally, before the series was cancelled, was going to be enrolled in the Time Lord Academy to become the first human Time Lord. So that is something that sounded interesting, and it's a kind of a shame, really, because what happened to Ace was she ended up owning a charity shop instead. Time Lord or owning a charity shop. Time Lord would have been better. And also a bigger shame as well was the Sarah Jane Smith Adventures. Ace was actually eventually going to appear in the Sarah Jane Smith Adventures, I believe, with Sylvester McCoy to try to explain what happened to Ace in between the Eighth Doctor and the Paul McGann movie, the Seventh Doctor and the Eighth Doctor. And sadly, because Sarah Jane Smith, Elizabeth Sladen, sadly passed away, obviously Sarah Jane Smith was obviously cancelled, and this never happened. So it's sad for two reasons. It's sad just because obviously Sarah Jane Elizabeth Sladen died. That's just a sad thing, and it's sad that Ace didn't get to come back to the series, because Fezzies are cool. Unfortunately, when the 12th Doctor takes over, I don't think Fezzies will be cool anymore. Because honestly, like, do you know, I had this thing in my head. I've been watching somebody else on YouTube who's been saying this all along, and I agree with this guy. When the Doctor regenerates, when the 11th regenerates into the 12th, that bow tie is just coming straight off, and he's going to fling it on the floor with disgust. The 12th Doctor will not like bow ties, and he will not like fezzes. And bow ties and fezzes will become uncool, and they'll become unpopular. Because bow ties at this point in time are completely, really popular, as are fezzes, obviously. What was I saying before the fez thing? I don't know what I was saying. By the way, if you are watching this, apparently you can thumb up things, and I wouldn't mind some thumbs ups if you're enjoying the show. Obviously, if you're not enjoying the show, obviously just don't thumb up. It's just to let you know that I'm doing well, basically. So yeah, just thumbs up the video if you don't mind. You don't have to. You can share it as well. Get more people in here. You don't have to. Again, if you know any Doctor Who fans, whatever. Sorry, I'm shameless plugging myself. Let's get back on with this. Should the new Doctor still wear bow ties? I personally think he shouldn't. Oh, well, I guess you answered my question. Yeah. Yeah, no, he shouldn't wear bow ties anymore. That was definitely an 11th Doctor thing. Obviously, some other Doctors before him wore a bow tie, but I think it's a bit too soon for the 12th Doctor to be continue wearing bow ties. So yeah, he's gonna regenerate. He's gonna be like, I'm not wearing bow ties anymore, and then just fling it onto the floor, probably stand in it. I don't know. He's not going to like bow ties. He's not going to like fezzes. But yeah. The funny thing is as well about the fez and the word Geronimo was the 7th Doctor was the first wore a fez in one episode along with Ace, and then later on in a different episode, Ace runs into something and shouts Geronimo. So I can't help but think that the 11th Doctor got that from them. Whether it's continuity wise or not. But I bought recently, speaking of Ace and the 7th Doctor, I bought recently Remembrance of the Daleks on DVD, and I was watching the documentary section of it and how it was made, and certain things that they mentioned in the documentary I just thought was hilarious. I don't know if you've ever watched Remembrance of the Daleks, I don't know if you've watched a documentary on it, but there's two things in it that you need to know. One of them is a scene where Ace has a bazooka and shoots a Dalek with the bazooka. And this is a real bazooka, it's not a prop. They actually get a real bazooka. They just put a blank in it, a false round sort of thing. And basically she stands in this school, and there's a wall just behind her, about this far from behind her. And she fires it, and it leaves a massive scorch mark on the wall. Now, the scorch mark and the fire that comes out the back of the bazooka wasn't planned. They didn't take that into account. They kind of forgot bazookas work that way, and they genuinely did burn a hole in a wall, and it was genuinely quite unsafe. Basically, someone could have died that day because they didn't take that into account. Second thing that I think is most amusing about this episode and the documentary and how they filmed it, they blew up a gate in central London, and I don't just mean like a small gate, I mean a massive gate, like a junkyard gate. And this explosion was ridiculously big, and they did not get permission to blow up this gate. So the authorities were called, fire brigade, etc., police, people just coming out and just witnessing this explosion, wondering what's going on. And as the smoke is clearing, Daleks come out. So could you imagine being there when this is being filmed, and you don't know it's being filmed, massive explosion goes off, and then Daleks just come out of nowhere. What the fuck would you think? I'd just be like, what is going on? I thought this was all fake. And then I'd be like, at the same time, scared, and then I'd be like, awesome, this is all real. And then I'd die, probably, because Daleks would exterminate me. But I'd die happy, because Daleks exterminated me. That'd just be like the coolest way of dying, I suppose. But yes, that happened. That was a thing that happened, and it was awesome. Oh, thank you for thumbing me up. So if he is half human, half Time Lord, why couldn't Donna be half human and half Time Lord? Well, I kind of answered that before, you might not have heard me. But basically, my sort of... it's weird. My sort of excuse for that is, and this is not canon, this is just sort of my way of fixing it in my own head canon, is that the Doctor meant that a human cannot be, like, turned into a Time Lord this way. Basically, she absorbed the Doctor's hand instantly and didn't have the time to sort of grow up with it, whereas the Doctor was born that way, so he was already sort of biologically programmed to grow up. But actually, I think the best way of explaining this, actually, and this makes a little bit more sense, is the Doctor isn't Time Lord by species. Like, no one's Time Lord by species. The Doctor's Gallifreyan. Time Lord is a ranking system. So when the Doctor says he's half human, half Gallifreyan, and then he becomes a Time Lord and learns about it over a long period of time. Whereas Donna just got this information just shoved into her head like that. And I can imagine essentially like 1,000 years of information being shoved into a human's head without any sort of time to absorb it. It's going to be pretty painful. Whereas if you live 1,000 years or so and you're getting this information sort of pumped into you slowly, as you're learning through the Time Lord Academy to become a Time Lord in the first place, I think then it works and it's okay. That's my way of explaining it. Whether that is the case or not, I don't know. But the thing is, there is another continuity error in the episode. What is that episode called? It was in Series 7, Cybermen episode, the new Cybermen, Nightmare in Silver. In that episode is a bit where one of the Cybermen, the Cyber Controller, is fighting with the Doctor, and then the Cyber Controller says to the Doctor that he's 100% Time Lord. And people are saying that this is a proof that the movie isn't canon, and therefore he isn't half human, but he can still be 100% Time Lord and still be half human, because, again, Time Lord is a rank, therefore half human, half Gallifreyan. So I'm just throwing that out there as an explanation. Whether you want to accept that explanation or not, I don't know. But that's my explanation for the Doctor still being half human. And if you don't like him being half human, then use those explanations as this is why he can't, and everyone's happy, I guess. Oh, God, my neck. Ow, that one hurt. Let's see. How long have I been broadcasting for? I don't think the new Doctor will have any funny moments. It's probably going to be a very dark season. I think he will still have some funny moments because I don't think it'd be wacky funny like Matt Smith. He won't have like the sort of moments like Matt Smith just being silly. But it will probably still have funny moments because Doctor Who is still a funny show in a sense. It's still a bit cheesy in a sense. So I don't reckon they're gonna go like the Dark Knight sort of dark. I don't think they're gonna go down like making this character 100% dark and just killing everything left, right, and centre without any jokes thrown in along the way. I reckon it's going to be more like Eccleston's Doctor in a sense, maybe a bit darker, but still have that essence of jokiness about him. I can just imagine a guy walking out yelling, "What is going on here?" Then a Dalek just rolls in, and the guy, "Holy crap, what's happening?" Yeah, that would be my reaction to that happening. But yeah, the filming requirements back in them days was just, yeah, they just didn't need to jump through as many hoops as they do today, because it'd be completely illegal to set off a bomb in London today for filming. You'd be charged with terrorism, like just like that. But no, we're just filming a Doctor Who episode. Yeah, to Guantanamo Bay or whatever. No, I don't know. That's a joke. That's a bad joke. But yeah, they'd be charged with terrorism today. How long has this been going on for anyway? I need to know. It's been going on for a while, I think. Just checking how long this has gone on for. Like events, like bin actions, like control room. Average 1 hour. Okay. So yeah, that's that. That's a thing. That's a thing that happened. Okay, what have we not covered in Doctor Who? Ooh, another comment that might help. What do you think the 12th Doctor should wear? Now, that's a very hard question, really. I'm thinking a waistcoat, because not that many Doctors have worn a waistcoat. I know Matt Smith is currently wearing a waistcoat, I think. I'm not sure. I don't know. Judging by his age, I'm thinking more sort of and kind of. I don't know. It's really. He should not be wearing a bow tie. That's a fact. No bow tie. Get rid of the bow tie. Tie, maybe. I'm thinking maybe a cravat maybe could work. That's something that's not been done in a while. A cravat, making the guy look a bit like sort of dapper, sort of posh, in a sense, to go with his age in a sense. So I'm imagining a cravat might work. But I don't really know. It's quite hard to tell, because I couldn't even guess any of the previous Doctor's outfits. The one outfit he should most definitely not wear is a Technicolor Dreamcoat, because we don't want another 6th Doctor costume, because that would just no, that would be horrible. Don't do that again, ever. Not the 6th Doctor's costume. Why? I'm amazed about how much information you know about Doctor Who. Where do you find it all out? Well, I find pretty much all that information from watching the series, because I have series 1 through 6 on DVD, like the current 1 through 6. I have quite a few of the classic series, which has documentaries on it. I watch quite a lot of documentaries when it's on TV or on the internet when I can find them. And every time, I've watched a lot of the classic series again online. I've watched on television as well as a kid, as I've said. I'm just that interested in it. I just go places to look it up. I mean, one of the things as well about the new series, like The Great Intelligence, for example, when The Great Intelligence showed up, I instantly wanted to know more about him because I never watched an episode with The Great Intelligence in it before. Because I think the first episode The Great Intelligence was in an episode I think called The Yetis, which was a second Doctor story, and I don't think that storyline is complete. I think some of the episodes of that particular series has been burnt by the BBC. So yeah, I think that episode has been lost to time. So I've never actually seen it, but I looked it up on the internet to find out what it was about, who the Great Intelligence was, and figured out the order of episodes the Great Intelligence actually appears in. And the order of the Great Intelligence, in case you didn't know, the first appearance of the Great Intelligence, like viewer-wise, like rewatching the show, is the second Doctor. But the first time the Doctor meets the Great Intelligence, and the first time he appears chronologically, is the Snowmen. So basically, in the Snowmen, the Great Intelligence meets the Doctor for the first time, and the Doctor is meeting the Great Intelligence for the second time, whereas the second Doctor meets the Great Intelligence for the first time, and the Great Intelligence is meeting the second Doctor for the third or fifth time. I'm not sure how many times they have met properly, but that's what happens. But yeah, I like looking up things really and just double checking them and looking at them. Things what I don't tend to do is believe memes, because I've seen this meme, two memes I'm going to bring up right now. One meme was about the episode where the Ninth Doctor meets the Daleks again, the episode Dalek, and it says a meteorite hit Russia in 2013. This is not in the episode, this is the meme, and this actually happened. A meteor did hit Russia in early 2013, and basically in the episode it tells you of a meteorite that hit Earth at a certain date. I'm not going to bring up the date just yet. And oh my god, Doctor Who predicted the future, therefore Doctor Who is real. That was the meme. And as soon as I read that, I was like, but the episode's set in 2012, so it didn't accurately predict the future at all. That's completely incorrect. The meteor in the episode hit in 2012. Well, before 2012, because the episode was set in 2012. So no, it didn't accurately predict the future. The second meme I want to bring up is the bow tie and the suit colours. Now, this meme says whenever the Doctor is in the past, he wears I think it was a red bow tie. It could be a blue one, I can't remember which way around this was. And whenever he's in the future, he wears the other colour. And I just went, no, that's not true, because this episode was set in the past and he was wearing this colour. So, yeah, don't believe memes you see on the internet straight away, because they're a very poor place for facts. So if you do see a meme, don't instantly repost it. Check it first, just to make sure, and then repost it. Because it might come back to bite you in the arse, really. There's a meme I made of Doctor Who last year, and it's accurate, by the way. If you don't believe me, you can always just double check. And I just found this was fascinating. I watched it's a second Doctor episode, and in that episode, it's his final episode. It's his regeneration episode, and in the episode, he gets forced to regenerate by the Time Lords because the Time Lords are basically punishing him for doing something, and they say to the Doctor, they'll give him a choice of so many different faces he can choose from, and the faces they show, he says one of them's too fat, one of them's too old, which is hilarious when you think about it, especially with the current Doctor being old, but and also the second Doctor also being old and clearly wanting to regenerate into a younger man. But anyway, that's irrelevant. One of the doctors, he says, looks too skinny, and the picture that shows up is a drawing, and the drawing looks remarkably like David Tennant. And I just find it kind of funny that the second Doctor looked at a picture that looks like a future Doctor, and then that future Doctor actually becomes the Doctor. That's something that is hilarious to me. But yeah. When did you first become interested in Doctor Who? Was it when the series rebooted or before? I've always liked Doctor Who since I was little. I watched... My first Doctor was Sylvester McCoy, the 7th Doctor. And the 7th Doctor, and my favourite companion is Ace. And it might be because those two Doctors, that Doctor and that companion, were my first... They're my sort of favourite. Well, Sylvester McCoy isn't my favourite. He's one of my favourites of the classic series anyway. But Ace is my favourite companion overall. So I watched a lot of repeats of that series, because obviously when I was born it was pretty much cancelled by that point, but they showed a lot of repeats of that era, so that's how I sort of got into the show. And then obviously I watched previous Doctors before that, and I kind of always knew that the Doctor, you know, being British, I always kind of knew that the Doctor looked like other people, so I instantly understood the concept of it anyway, due to the fact that, you know, Mum and Dad went on about it, and you know, just being in a British country, we generally just sort of knew how it worked at that point. Then I got into, then obviously the rebooted series. Then, well, let's talk about the '96 movie first, because obviously that came on, and I watched that when I was little. That came on, I was really excited for that, because finally something new, something that I can actually experience, which isn't a repeat. And I thought the movie was good. A lot of people don't like the movie. A lot of people think the movie was too Americanized, but when you really compare it to the current series, it's really not that bad. And the way I see it is the movie's kind of like a bridge between the classic series and the current series. Though I really wish there was a generation scene between McGann and Nicholson. And then obviously after that, nothing happened for a couple of years, which I explained why with Fox and such. I'm just answering this text message first. Love you too. Oh, now the door's saying hello.
Just knocking out.
Yeah, go on then.
What the fuck? Hot. How about this one?
Okay, thank you.
Can I be back in a bit?
See, people just giving me food. It's great. So then obviously then it came back in 2005. And the thing is, when it came back in 2005, I missed the first 3 episodes because I didn't know when it was on. And my mum didn't tell me it was on because she didn't think I was interested, which was a little odd, because when she told me, I was like, not interested, it's Doctor Who, of course I'm interested. So I actually didn't start the new series from Rose, I started it from the episode with the Slovene, and it was part 2, it was the first episode I watched, so it was a little awkward. And then it wasn't until like the series repeated itself on BBC 3 in where I actually started watching the first 3 episodes. And then obviously I got into Torchwood and Sarah Jane Smith Adventures, and I just love the cross-continuity between all of them, which is why we need a spin-off series. So yeah, I like Sarah Jane Smith and I like Torchwood as well, and all the associated shows with it. When do you do? But the internet knows, oh man, there's nothing false on the internet. No, the internet never lies, of course. I liked it when I was quite young, because the town I grew up in, I can't pronounce that, had a Doctor Who museum in it with all the original costumes and monsters, etc. Yeah, I can't pronounce that down at all, but I'm just going to eat this rice, this is nice. I've been to a few Doctor Who expeditions, museums and such. More recently, like not the classic ones. I have been to the one classic one absolutely years ago when I was with school before the series came back, but I don't remember too much about that one. But I did go to the Museum of Science and Industry Doctor Who exposition that was there about 2 or 3 years ago, and I went there actually with a suit and Converse, so I did look like the 10th Doctor at that point, and I actually got a few people thinking I was with the museum. I got a few people asking me to stand still and pose for photographs, so that was fun. So yeah, I got quite a lot of attention that day for looking like the Doctor, because people genuinely did think I was part of the expedition. It's actually a video of me on YouTube, actually, of me. It's the very first video that's ever been put up on YouTube of me, and I didn't put it up. I just stumbled across it like a couple of years later, and there's a video of me in Warrington, which is where I live, by the way, where they're advertising the Manchester Museum, and they've got like this TARDIS in the town centre and a Dalek sort of running around, and I was wearing a jacket that day. I wasn't dressed up like the Doctor, but I was wearing a suit jacket because I just came away from doing a job somewhere. And I went over to get a photograph done with the Daleks and the TARDIS. And I also happened to have a sonic screwdriver on me at the time, so I could pose with it for, shits and giggles. And there was someone filming me with a mobile phone, which I didn't know at the time, and everyone on the mobile phone, there was like running commentary on the video of him going, "Oh look, the Doctor's just shown up, except he's not wearing the correct attire." So it's basically just me wearing an incorrect suit, apparently, because I'm apparently just as the Doctor at this point, even though I wasn't. And the video is just me just posing in front of a Dalek and a TARDIS, looking somewhat like the 10th Doctor wearing the incorrect clothes. And people thinking I was legit, but for some reason wearing the wrong clothes, and people were confused by that. But yeah, that was the first video of me on YouTube, and I only stumbled across it like 2 years ago. So if you want to find that video, just search Daleks in Warrington, and I'm sure you'll probably find a video of me facing off against a Dalek a couple of years ago. And the Daleks actually came back to... It's a funny story, actually. The Daleks came back to Warrington just a couple of months ago, and I'm sure you've seen some photographs of me dressed up as the 10th Doctor on Facebook. But basically it was like an event thing where there was a David Tennant lookalike walking around, and I say lookalike, he really didn't look like the Doctor, in my opinion. He looked nothing like David Tennant. He just happened to have a suit that looked like his suit and the overcoat. But what annoyed me about him was he was wearing red Converse with his brown suit. And if anybody knows the 10th Doctor, he only does not wear his red shoes with his brown suit, he wears his red shoes with his blue suit. So I went there wearing the correct attire this time. I was wearing a brown suit, a blue shirt, and a sort of bluish sort of striped tie, and white Converse. And I went there. Again, I got a load of pictures taken with me, including that I also posed myself with the Daleks because I wanted to get a picture of me with the Dalek and the TARDIS. And then other people started asking me for photographs, and then I walked around the corner when I was like leaving, and I saw the 10th Doctor there, and the look on his face just sort of dropped, like, holy shit, this guy looks more like the 10th Doctor than I do. I gotta get away from here quickly. I gotta get this guy away from here because this guy might steal my attention and stuff. And obviously my intention wasn't really to do that. I actually wanted a picture with him and me sort of pointing sonic screwdrivers at each other, sort of, 10th Doctor meets 10th Doctor sort of thing. But no, that didn't happen because he seemed really angry at me, which in all honesty just amused me, and I thought it was funny. So, so yeah, that's a thing that happened. Got a message on YouTube, not on Facebook, I mean. So yeah, needless to say, I really angered this guy. And then straight after that, I actually was drawing at a wedding, like I worked straight afterwards, so I actually went to this wedding dressed up as the 10th Doctor. And through the mall, like through the shopping centre, I was like walking through, just throwing my sonic screwdriver about like this, just because I thought it was funny, and I got some looks in there as well. It's something I intend. It's something I like doing for some reason, just dressing up like the 10th Doctor and getting attention. It's funny to me. It's funny. Yeah. So is have you guys ever like any Doctor Who events have you ever been to other than like a museum? Anything else? Stuff like that while I eat this rice. It's good rice. Good rice. I'm just going to post this on Facebook to see if I can get any more viewers and stuff. We'll see. It's not the one I meant to click. So, yeah. Any more questions about Doctor Who or anything else? You can ask other questions. It doesn't have to be specifically about Doctor Who. But if it is about Doctor Who, that's fantastic because of the title of the video. But, you know, anything in general, anything geeky, anything sort of things and stuff like that. And I will obviously try and answer those questions. Comment. I want to go to a Doctor Who event. They seem awesome. They are awesome. As I said, I've never really been to a big Doctor Who event. Obviously, I've been to the museums, and I've been to this to the one I said in Warrington, which wasn't really a Doctor Who event. It was just a sort of event to celebrate the market, and they just hired a Doctor and 2 Daleks, and they also had Titan. I don't know what Titan is. It's like a robot suit kind of thing. Yeah, that there, which I also faced off against dressed as the Doctor, which is kind of amusing. The thing is, actually, no, the best thing about that event, and you can see this on one of my videos, is a video I have uploaded. I can't remember which video it is. I'm pretty sure it's a Doctor Who one, so if you just look through my videos and see my latest Doctor Who one, you will come across that video. If you watch it, there's a bit in it where there's a Dalek talking to a girl who's just causing trouble. This girl's like just genuinely just trying to annoy the workers at this like the Doctor Who thing, and the Dalek literally says to her, "Maybe you should go and kill yourself." One, I find it funny because it's a Dalek saying this, and it kind of makes sense for a Dalek to say this. It's a bit harsh, I suppose, but at the end of the day, she was asking for it, to be fair. And at the same time, I just think it's kind of funny, in a sort of weird way. What are your thoughts on Zac Efron possibly being in the next Star Wars? I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? What? When is... What? Let me just... One second. Okay, so I didn't know this. I didn't know this was even a rumour. I'll be honest with you, I think it's a rumour. I don't actually know if it's a rumour because I don't know if it's been confirmed or not. You're the first person who's actually told me this. I think it's awful that it's true. The thing is, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I don't dislike Star Wars. I mean, I like the original trilogy. I hate the prequels. And I'm just not too interested in the overall expanded universe. And I also really hate what George Lucas has actually done with the original trilogy with all the CG extra crap in it. I mean, I used to really like Star Wars when I was a kid, I used to have a load of figures. I used to watch them quite regularly. And then, ever since he started doing the special editions, the prequels, it's just turned me off Star Wars, and I really just kind of didn't like it anymore, apart from the classic 3 films. That's not to say that I won't watch the new 3, because I'm interested in seeing how they turn out. The thing is, I have faith in Disney when it comes to the Star Wars movies, unless Zac Efron actually is casted in it, and then obviously my faith is just thrown out the window. But I have faith in it simply because Marvel, Avengers. So, yeah. Though I do have a lot of Star Wars Burger King toys. I don't know if you've ever seen them before. They came out, like, I think when Episode 3 came out, they was associated with Episode 3, and they're just really awesome little figures. I can show you if you like, but I'm not going to get up unless you want me to. But, yeah, that's just awful. 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 No good at all. So, speaking of events and such, are any of you guys going to Summer in the City? Any of you going to stick it? Or Summer in the City? I don't even know how you pronounce it. It's in London. 2 weeks from now. Who's going? Anyone going? I'm going, by the way, in case you're wondering. I'm going to Summer in the City. That's going to be fun. So if you are going, you could just come up and say hi, or watch your videos on YouTube, and I'll be like, cool, it's nice to meet you, and then we'll have a chat and stuff. Yeah. You can even probably, actually, if you are going, and you are a Doctor Who fan, you might like the video that I plan on doing there, and if you want, you can be in that video, if I do decide to do the video, because I've not entirely decided yet, but if I do, you could be in the video. It's a Doctor Who themed video, and if you don't like Doctor Who, and you still want to be in it, of course you can still be in it, because anyone can be in it, because just willing to help, that's always a good thing, really. Rice is delicious. I wish I could go to Summer in the City, but I live nowhere near London, sadly. I live nowhere near London, but yeah, I understand it's expensive. I mean, originally it was going to cost me and my girlfriend about £180 for a train, like there and back. But luckily we managed to find a coach that's going to cost us about £15, I think. It's about £15 for a coach. So essentially, it's obviously we cut it in half, so it's like £7 on each for a coach. Obviously, plus the hotel, which is about, I think, probably about 30 quid each. So fairly cheap, really, for what we've managed to get there. It'd be my first time going anyway, because I didn't go last year and I've never been before, so it's going to be fun, I think. There's so much awkwardness, though, with the way they set it up and such. I'm starting to kind of run out of steam now, I think. I think we've covered quite a lot of things. I'm going to wear my fez again, because why not? And my sonic screwdriver. I hear it's fun. I live in America though, so going isn't exactly an option. Ah, okay, America. Yeah, that would be very difficult to go. Ah, well, that's a shame. I wanted to go to VidCon as well, actually, but that would also cost ridiculously expensive, and not to mention with Summer in the City, like literally the week after. Not exactly something I could do so easily. Oh well. But if any of you are going, please, obviously, don't hesitate to come up to me and say hi. I'm not going to be one of these people that'll just ignore you. Obviously, if I am in the middle of filming something, you know, be a little bit courteous not to sort of run in front of the camera and such. But obviously, you know, I will talk to you and such and be nice and friendly. You know, I'm not an evil person in any way. But yeah, it's just that's it really. So yeah, just if you are going, come say hi. It'd be great. Have a little chat and so on. To introduce you to my girlfriend, I can, you know, talk about stuff. You could be in a video if you want. It's been great. Sonic Screwdriver Wii Remote. Never buy these things if you're actually going to use it as a remote because it's really awful. But it's cool thing to own, I suppose. Okay. So I think it's probably time I did address this anyway. I did address it at the beginning of the episode, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you probably didn't hear me say this. I am still making videos. I've just been really busy lately, and it kind of feels like I'm not really a YouTuber anymore. That's why I wanted to get a video up today, which is this video. And I am still working on projects. Yesterday, actually, I drew another speed drawing of a picture of Crash Bandicoot. You can see the preview of it on Facebook. That will be coming up hopefully next week. I've also drawn a picture of Wario, Waluigi in a bar. That's coming soon. I drew some doodles, some doodle drawings that will be coming soon as well. I'm working on some animations. I've started a Doctor Who video. I've started a Doctor Who animation. I'm working on a load of different things all at once, and none of them are quite finished yet, so that's why they've not been uploaded. So they are coming. Don't worry about that. What next gen console are you going to get? It will be the PlayStation 4 because I'm not getting the Xbox One. Not a chance. I dislike Xbox. Not because of Xbox One, although admittedly Xbox One really disappointed me. I was hoping they might win me back with Xbox One, but they didn't. You see, I had an Xbox 360 pretty much as soon as they came out. And as you all know, the Xbox 360s had a little problem with them when they first came out. And mine died at the Red Ring of Death, but it didn't die when it was in warranty. Oh, no. Mine decided to die just as it went out of warranty. So I couldn't get a new one. And this is as soon as I bought Batman Arkham Asylum. So that was fun. So I had to re-buy Arkham Asylum for the PlayStation 3. And basically at that point, I basically, after the Xbox died, I bought a PlayStation 3 with Arkham Asylum with it, and a couple of other games that I already had for Xbox for the PlayStation 3. And the only games for Xbox 360 I kept were Halo's not Xbox 360, but you know what I'm saying, Halo, Halo 2, Halo 3, and so on. And then I got rid of the rest of them and saying, okay, I'll keep these games in case I get the next Xbox console, the next generation one, and that way I'll be able to play them again when that comes out, because there's no way I'm buying an Xbox 360 again. Then I hear there's no backwards compatibility to it, so my entire efforts of keeping these games was completely pointless. And now we're currently in a game shop being sold somewhere. Probably. Yeah, so it's PlayStation 3. I'm probably going to get a Wii U as well, but I wouldn't really consider that next gen. It's just this gen technology, but I really want the Sonic game for it, so sue me. Yeah. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Do you think they'll remaster the games you kept just to sell more copies? I think they'll probably have like a sort of in the Xbox Marketplace, and they'll just put the games on there, and then obviously you have to buy them again if you want to play them. Maybe it'll be a HD version. I don't know, but it's irrelevant to me because I'm not buying another Xbox. So A little bit disappointed in Sony as well with the whole you need to pay to play online now with the next PlayStation console, but I hardly play online anyway, so it's no big deal to me. Yeah, but PlayStation 4 and the Wii U, definitely the consoles I'm going to get. This was fun. God, I miss doing this. I did a live show. It's my second live show. Yeah. I think it went well, really, for a second live show. Not bad. Not bad indeed. I might go soon. I'm not going to go just yet. I kind of want to get back some more questions or something, maybe back on Doctor Who or something else. Yeah, the main reason I wanted a PlayStation 3 was because of the no pay to play online. I'm thinking about Xbox One, but I'm not sure. Well, the Xbox One has pay to play online anyway, so it's that plus all the other problems with the Xbox One. And the thing that really gets me about the Xbox One, and I know they've said that they've got rid of this feature, but I'm just going to explain my problem with it in a minute. Basically, they said about the lockout system, like, you know, you have to be online for like an hour a day, you can't play used games on it and such, with the account or borrowed games. And they said they got rid of that system, but they got rid of it through a software update. And it says in the terms and conditions that they can bring back that feature at any time, which suggests to me that they're getting rid of it to sell the unit, and once you bought it, they're going to make an update, and then they're going to get rid of the capability to use used games on it. Similar to the way the PlayStation 3 got rid of PlayStation 2 games on the PlayStation 3, which means I'm really glad I collect my PlayStation 2, because I have a lot of PlayStation 2 games. But yeah, it's the current gaming industry, it's not very good, and at some point I might just start up PC gaming, because I'm getting kind of sick of the consoles, to be honest with you. But I'm not a PC gamer, so that's something I'm probably going to have to get into. Buy a expensive PC. I bought an expensive Mac, so that's not a particularly a very difficult problem for me to do, but that's not the point, because I didn't really want to spend that much money on a new computer. But you know, whatever. Any questions about anything else, Doctor Who related or geek related? Ooh, the Avengers 2, that looks good. Well, the idea of the Avengers 2. I've been roughly entertained so far. Awesome. Glad you're roughly entertained. It's better than being not entertained at all. Am I right? Yeah. I love it! Did anyone want to see that Tom Scott video the other day with a horse head? I love it! Yeah, I'm just doing this. If you've not seen it, Tom Scott's latest video, awesome. It's for Geek Week. Oh man, that's so lame. I wish things were back in the good old SNES days. Yeah, I never had a Super Nintendo as a kid. I had the Sega, because you know, back when you know, the consoles were like in the 90s, the early 90s. You was only really allowed one console, and I went with Sega. So I'm a Sonic fan over Mario, which is a shame when it came to 2006. But still, whatever. Sonic fan. I'm more of a Sonic fan than Mario, but I still like Mario, obviously. But I miss those days. I mean, the thing is, when the console started playing like DVDs and stuff like that, I thought it was kind of cool. And then like you got the PlayStation with its like homepage. All my friends, like whenever like our friends over playing on the PlayStation, they always say to me, "Why have you never like updated your PlayStation home screen? Why is it just on the default settings?" Because I don't care. And it's, you know, I literally spend like 2 seconds on the home screen. I don't care about the home screen because I'm not going to be there long enough to give a crap. I'm there to play games. That's the main things I do with my PlayStation 3. That and play Blu-rays. Ultimately, though, the PlayStation home screen just... I'm not going to look at it for more than 5 seconds. So, I don't care. Besides, that's why I prefer the PlayStation 2's home screen, because it was boring and there was nothing there, which means you're just going to skip right past it, whereas the new one's overly complicated. Oh, it's not really complicated, but it's just very sort of flashy and in your face, and you don't really need to see it. But yeah, do you know what I really want? A good Doctor Who game. Because then we're on the topic of Doctor Who, and now we're, the title of the video is Doctor Who, and we're about games all of a sudden. I want a good Doctor Who game. I want a video game about Doctor Who that's really good. Let's have a discussion here. If you like Doctor Who and you like video games, what would you like to see in a Doctor Who video game? That would be the thing that I want to see. Because I've played the free online games, and I've played... I've seen Let's Plays of the Eternity Clock, and I've seen reviews of the god-awful Wii Doctor Who game. And the internet games, they're not too bad, but they're free, so they're not really overly complicated. The Eternity Clock one's a bit crap for a PlayStation 3 game. The Wii one is just worth not being talked about at all. And the Top Trumps game is not a Doctor Who game, it's a Top Trumps game featuring Doctor Who. So, I want a good Doctor Who game, and I think I have a couple of different ideas for it. Maybe you shouldn't play as the Doctor, maybe you should play as a companion, and that way you can do some actiony things, because the Doctor wouldn't do actiony things, whereas the Doctor's more of a character that sort of guides you on your journey. Maybe you have to save the Doctor in some capacity, or you can play as the Doctor, and the video game's set around you actually being the first Doctor, and each time you die in this alternate reality Doctor Who game, you regenerate and you have 13 lives. That would be quite cool. Or maybe a sort of game which has like 3 different playing styles, where you've got like the Doctor, that's like the strategy game, you've got maybe play as Captain Jack, who's the first person shooter, and maybe you play as like the companion, that's sort of a platformer. I don't know, it's just a couple of suggestions I have for a Doctor Who video game, which they've never done. I would like to see the 10th Doctor in it, because he's my Dr. Daleks, of course. Cybermen, the Master, is something that's actually pretty fun. Yeah, the 10th Doctor. I mean, I think if they actually did do it, they probably would do either the current Doctor, but yeah, I wouldn't mind a game which featured all the Doctors in some capacity. But yeah, it has to be fun and it has to work. That's the main issue with the current Doctor Who games, is they don't work and they have such a low budget, which is not surprising they have a low budget, but I still think they could do better. I'm pleased still about the free online games, though. That's something, I guess. And they're pretty decent for considering they're free. Well, they're free in this country. I don't know if they're free in America or not. Hi new viewers, if anyone's new and watching, if you've got any questions for me, please ask me. If you've got any Doctor Who questions, or if you want to talk Doctor Who, please talk Doctor Who. But if you want to talk about something else, please let me know in the comment section at the side. That way. That way? That way. That way! There we go. It's that way. There we go. It's that way. I don't even know anymore. The flipped camera. It's all too crazy. I'm going to wear a fez. Sorry about that. Something distracted me and I wanted to go and see what it was. Oh. I'm kind of running out of steam now because I'm not getting any questions. I kind of talked about what I wanted to talk about. So I'm probably going to go soon. So if you have enjoyed this and you've not clicked the like button yet, please do click the like button. I'm not going yet. I'm still going to be talking for a little bit longer. Hopefully coming up with new ideas to talk about. Has anyone got any ideas for me to talk about something? Doctor Who is definitely a subject because of the current subject matter. I mean, I'd like to talk about the classic series a little bit, but I don't really know where to start from the classic series. So if you want me to talk about any classic Doctors, maybe name a Doctor, and I'll talk about that Doctor and what I feel about that Doctor, what I think about that Doctor, what that Doctor's about. If not, then I won't do that. It's up to you. The other common people, the comment people, not common people. You're not common. That word came out all incorrect. Like comment people. Please comment. In other words. That was a tin I kicked over. It wasn't supposed to happen. You know what, actually? While you guys are thinking up of some sort of topics or something, wait a minute, what have we got here? I have enjoyed your show very much. Awesome. Oh, you should talk about Reddit, and if you think it's good, I'm a bit 50-50. Also talk about the Second Doctor if you want. Okay, I'll probably talk about the Second Doctor a little bit in a minute. But Reddit, I don't actually know. I know what Reddit is. Like, I know it's a website, but I've never used Reddit, so I don't know how it works. I don't really know what you're supposed to do with Reddit. None of it makes any sense to me. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually open up Photoshop, put on the screen share, and then I'm going to try and draw something while talking about the Second Doctor. That might be kind of cool. So I'm just going to set up Photoshop. When I find it on my taskbar, where are you? Photoshop. Okay, and I'm going to open a blank file. Okay, and then I'm going to my desktop. Okay, just setting things out here. I need to make sure everything's working properly. Allow. That's the Crystal Maze music, in case you were wondering. Okay. Desktop. Use desktop. Okay. Can you see me? Are you getting any feedback? That's... Oh, can you see my desktop, should I say? And are you getting any feedback? Because I don't want to have feedback, I just want to get into this, and I want to know if that's what's actually the case. So do you have any feedback? And I'll start drawing something, and it will be cool, and I'll talk about the Second Doctor, what I'm drawing. Just let me know, is it working? Because that's the only thing I really do need to know. Oh, itchy. Are you getting feedback? Can you hear me? Can you see my screen? Can you see my messy taskbar? Yeah? Look, I can go and draw something or something. I'll just open Photoshop and do this. So you can see the comments and such. Yeah, you can see this. I'm just gonna refresh the page, even to make sure that I'm getting comments in, because sometimes you don't load in, which is kind of annoying, to be honest. It's working. Thank you. Okay, good. Sorry, I couldn't see that comment before. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so I'd probably draw something Doctor Who related, because, well, we'll talk about Doctor Who. I'm currently the Second Doctor at this point. Infinity YouTube. So I'm just gonna lower that occupancy a bit. Now, okay, so the Second Doctor is the Doctor that's most sort of hurt by the BBC's policies of burning certain Doctor Who related episodes back in the early days of the show, because I don't know if any of you know this, but a lot of episodes are lost to time, so to speak, and these episodes consisted from some of the First Doctor, most of the Second Doctor, and a little bit of the Third Doctor. And when this happened, it was basically due for storage space. They ran out of storage space at the BBC. So rather than keeping these episodes in some capacity, they decided to burn the episodes to get rid of them. And as a result of that, a lot of episodes were lost. And we have them in some capacity. We have like all the audio files and such to the series, so you can watch them in some way, and some of them are getting animated, and some of them are and some of the what just happened? It's weird. So God, I'm trying to think of what to say and draw at the same time. It's kind of difficult. So yeah, most of the Second Doctor's episode, basically what I'm saying, it doesn't exist anymore. And hopefully we can find the episodes, because some people still have them on VHS. Some people have, recorded the episodes, and they're finding the episodes and reconstructing them. Sometimes they get animated. And basically, we don't have a full collection of the Second Doctor, which is a shame, because if there's any classic Doctor that you should watch, in my opinion, any really classic Doctor, like from the first three, I highly recommend Patrick Troughton, because, especially if you like Matt Smith, because he is very Matt Smith-like. Before I continue with Dalek, I'm going to make it a colour. What colour would you like me to draw this Dalek? You pick any colour you like. I don't really... Whichever colour you want me to use on this Dalek, I'll colour it in with that. Okay? Getting to another text message. I'm gonna say kiss, kiss, kiss. Love you. Okay. Any suggestions of colour for the Dalek? So I can... Blue. Okay, blue. That was the first one. We're going to go with blue. So it's the scientist Dalek, I think. Is blue the scientist? I can't remember. Pretty sure it is. Alright. This is where all the mistakes happen. Okay, that's up a layer. A bit thicker. Nope. Crap. Undo. Nope. There we go. So, one of my favourite episodes, and it is completed, and I recommend you watch it, from the Patrick Troughton era of Doctor Who, is an episode called Tomb of the Cybermen. Now, this episode is obviously it's in black and white, so if you don't don't like black and white, then it's not really recommended. Yes, TARDIS blue indeed. Again, that's done that. Why is it doing that? Stop it. I think I just advertised one of your channels there. Congratulations, whoever that was. Yeah, the commercial mastermints. I just advertised your channel there by accident, so hey, for you! I just phoned up the screen then and just realised I can't actually see the screen, so it's kind of irrelevant. But yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, the Tomb of the Cybermen, I really recommend that episode. It's the first appearance of the Cybermen in the Second Doctor's era, and it's just a very clever Cyberman episode with really good cliffhangers, really good characters, a very, very well thought out plot, and if you've not seen it, again, I highly recommend you go and see it. Just trust me on that. It is such a good episode. Cheers. Ah, I did it again! What is going on? Why does that keep happening? Oh well. Um, let's just get off that subject from us. Let's talk about the Daleks while I'm drawing a Dalek, and since they're coming back for the 50th anniversary. Now, I was going to write this in a blog post for a certain blog that I'm a part of, and I'm still going to, and obviously, if you're here, you're kind of getting a bit of an exclusive. But it is already in draft, so, you know, original idea, do not steal, etc. But basically, what are the Daleks going to be doing in the 50th anniversary? And there's a couple of things. Just a sec. Oh, just a text message. Still live drawing. Oh God. Drawing Dalek cartoon style, and they like your picture too. That was a text message, by the way, in case you were wondering, from my girlfriend. But yeah, what are the Daleks going to be doing in the 50th anniversary? And from the screenshots, I'm going to take a wild guess and say that is most definitely the Time War. But that said, there's something interesting that I thought of while looking at this, and you're really a great artist, man. Thank you very. And there's your channel as well. I'm advertising everyone's channel accidentally, but there you go. This is your channel. If you want to go and subscribe to this guy, I don't know what kind of videos he does, but subscribe to the other guy as well. So I keep doing that accidentally. None of that is deliberate, but I'm pretty sure you're not complaining. I'm advertising everyone here, so definitely go and see that that channel and the other channel. But yeah, thank you. But there's another interesting thing about the Daleks and the 50th anniversary, and that is the Daleks won't know who the Doctor is, if assuming the Daleks are not just a part of the Time War. Because Clara, again, this is spoilers if you've never watched this episode, wiped the Daleks' hive mind of all knowledge of the Doctor. And that would mean if the Daleks are in the 50th anniversary actually facing off against the three Doctors, it includes John Hurt, by the way, they're not going to know who the Doctor is. Whereas, and it's going to be an interesting dynamic for this reason, because the 10th Doctor will wonder why they don't know. The 11th Doctor will know why they don't know. And the John Hurt Doctor, if he really is a Doctor and he is from the Time War, and he really did go by a different name, the Daleks might know who he is, meaning they will know who that specific Doctor is. Because why would Clara wipe away the information on someone that isn't counted as the Doctor? Maybe it was a way of disguising himself during the Time War so people wouldn't misassociate his misdeeds, and that's why he went to as a different name during the Time War. It's all possibilities, and I think that's a very good possibility. So it's entirely possible. I don't know what your thoughts are of the Daleks returning in the 50th, because I remember reading on Facebook a lot of, when they first announced it, a lot of people were angry that the Daleks are returning because apparently no one likes the Daleks anymore, because apparently they're overused, despite the fact that the Daleks have never really been the main villain in any of the Doctor Who finales since 2008. So I don't think they're overused anymore. This grill looks a bit awkward, to be honest. I might cheat for this bit. I'm just going to copy and paste it because it doesn't look right. Copy and pasting, copy and pasting. This is how you cheat in Photoshop. Paste again. Paste again. Weeds on them. Okay. Down, down, down. Refresh page, check comments just in case because it's so glitchy. It never always works. So, so what are your thoughts on the Daleks returning on the 50th anniversary? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? You were looking forward to them being in the 50th anniversary. Do you think it's just a Time War thing? Do you think it's a more to do with the overall plot of the episode? What? I'm interested in hearing those thoughts. I must warn you, with this drawing, it's probably not going to be as detailed as I would normally like my drawings to be, because I'm sort of doing it freestyle and rushing it a bit. And plus, I don't really like using Photoshop all that much when I'm filming, because it's a bit awkward to do. But yeah, no one's commented yet, at least it's not updated itself to show that anyone's commented yet. But I do think I don't really mind the Daleks coming back so much, because at the end of the day, it's not like they've been overused this series. I personally love the Dalek, or the Daleks. They're awesome, and I'm fine with them coming back for the anniversary. My personal favourite creature monster thing from Doctor Who is the Silence. Mine too. Well, it's not my favourite, but I really do like the Silence. And I'm advertising someone again. This is your channel. Sorry about that. I really don't mean to keep doing that. It just keeps happening for some reason. Hi Adam, how have you been? I'm pretty good. I recognise your name, James Sanders. I do recognise your name. I think it should be around the Time War, because we have waited quite a few years to find out what actually happened. Yeah, judging from the photographs from the press release, I think it is to do with the Time War. I don't know if it'd be both, like the Daleks will show up again, but if you look at the photographs, you can see Gallifreyan symbols in the background and fire. So I'm assuming that bit is definitely the Time War incident. Let's draw the eye stalk. Blair. Ball shape. I just realised that's the wrong shape. So let's work this out. Because if we're drawing a blue Dalek, it has to be one of the Teletubby Daleks or the Power Ranger Daleks. That's a good point, actually. What do people think of the new Dalek design? Because I find it really funny that they introduced it and then, well, let's be honest with you here, the Russell T Davies ones just suddenly appeared again. I mean, they kind of went, we're making these new Daleks and they're all brightly coloured and stuff, and they're the new superior Daleks, or the older Daleks, and then all of a sudden, just out, they just disappeared, and the old Daleks became the norm again because, well, they look better. Though I don't really mind them so much, but I would like an explanation, please. Yeah, well, whatever. I'm probably not going to get one, because Moffat doesn't like giving explanations to a lot of things. Hopefully he will in the 50th, though. So, there's that. And that's always something to think about. Oops, why was that one? That one. So yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing that's happening. Oh, I've done that wrong. Oh, no, that's not right either. Ah, what am I doing? Oh well, I've done that. I've messed that up entirely. Let's do it again. Okay. Right, let's correct this. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Zoom in. Zoom in a bit more. But yeah, the Teletubby Daleks and whatnot. Teletubby Daleks. I think that circle should be slightly smaller, to be honest with you, but I might make that circle a bit smaller. A little bit smaller. Do it right there. Let's see. There's new Daleks? Well, okay. When I say new Daleks, is an episode. They're not really new. They're not new anymore. They came out in 2010 in Matt Smith's first series, and it was unveiled in the episode called "The Victory of the Daleks." And each of the Daleks in that episode originally was the Russell T Davies style Daleks. And basically, in that episode, they were the only Daleks left in the universe, which is something we've never seen before, I sarcastically say. But they were the only last Daleks in the universe, and there's this thing called the Dalek Paradigm, and it had Dalek DNA in it, which they used to... They used the DNA to sort of resurrect these more powerful Daleks, and basically the more powerful Daleks were these Daleks that were brightly coloured and looked an awful lot like, well, people have dubbed them Teletubbies or Power Rangers, and a lot of people didn't like them. I was indifferent to them. I felt it looked okay. It didn't look as good as the RTD ones or the original ones, but I could live with it, I suppose, if that's what they was gonna do. But then, like in later episodes, like Asylum of the Daleks, all of the Russell T Davies Daleks came back, and it seems to be present that people didn't like the design and they went back to the old design. So it's just curious to what people actually think of these new designs. What are my thoughts on Paul McGann's Doctor? I actually touched on this before, so obviously you must be quite new to the room, and that's fine, because I don't mind going over a few things again while I'm doing this. Paul McGann, I think, was a fantastic Doctor. I mean, I really do think he was brilliant. It's really a shame that he only got such a short time as the Doctor, at least in the TV series. I mean, obviously, there is the audio dramas, which, again, if you've never heard, I recommend, though I haven't really heard that many of them. And basically, I just think he was great. And I think he kind of got shafted a little bit in the sense that he's never come back for the show yet. Hopefully he will be in the 50th. I'm hoping he will be in the 50th in some capacity, because I really want McGann to be in Doctor Who again. And since the 50th is going to be supposedly in the cinemas, it's going to be essentially a film. So McGann essentially starring again in a film version of Doctor Who certainly sounds fitting. But the thing is, though, I'm very glad the film didn't spawn off its own TV series, because if it did, Fox would be owning the Doctor Who license, and I've seen some dramatic things that would have happened if the series continued in that way. One of them would have been the Doctor and the Master would have been brothers, and I've seen a weird spider-like sort of Dalek redesign that I think would have been in the American series, but I can't confirm that. so don't have a word on that one. But there is definitely a spider design Dalek, which looks a bit awesome, but looks nothing like Daleks. Just going to check what this comment is. I feel like I should remember. Back. I'll read that comment in a second. Oh, you people get advertisements just for free from you doing accidental things. Anyway, I feel like I should remember that. I know I've seen those episodes, but it's all slightly vague. Yeah. It's a lot of people didn't like that episode either, and I thought it was a decent episode. Just like the way the Doctor kicks the Dalek and so on. It's pretty funny. How can I do this weapon thing? See, this is where drawing a Dalek becomes a bit difficult, so I might actually give up on this and draw something else. Yeah, I'm going to leave that there and draw something else. So I'm going to save this and I'll finish that off later. Save. Dalek. First of Photoshop. Yes, I do have a file called Fez, in case anyone's wondering. Okay, I'm going to go back to drawing in a second. I'm just going to go put myself back on screen for a minute. So just a sec. Okay, I'm back on screen, which is good. Okay, I'm going to be drawing something else in a minute. It's going to be Doctor Who related, and I might finish off the next one. Name something, like an enemy or something like that from Doctor Who, and I'll try and draw a cartoony version of it on Photoshop, other than the Daleks, because I'm kind of getting annoyed with how they're laid out, drawing this a little bit under pressure. So, any suggestions of Doctor Who people to draw even, and I'll continue drawing the Doctor Who characters and such, and talking about Doctor Who. I'm getting really thirsty. That's flat, which is not nice. But yeah, any sort of Doctor Who related things. I got a comment, so maybe this will answer that. The silence. Okay. The silence, so that's pretty simple. I like that one. Okay. Any topics as well, that'll be truly appreciated, and that'll be fantastic and such. I'll go back to Photoshop now then, as soon as I've set up a new piece of paper. Okay, zoom out a bit more. Copy, paste. What's going on? But yeah, any Doctor Who related stuff. I mean, I might talk about the silence. To be honest with you, that's actually probably a good idea. Would you like me to talk about the silence and what I think of them and where they kind of I kind of expected them in certain things? I'll talk about the silence. I think that's a good idea to do, really. Okay. Let's see what these two new comments are. How about Canine Robot? The Mara. Oh, the Mara. I don't know. Oh, refresh my memory what the Mara is. I know I'm quite knowledgeable on Doctor Who, but for some reason I can't quite think what that is. K9. I might draw K9. I'll do the silence first because he's someone who was suggested first. Remind me what the Mara is, because I know what it is. It's in my head, but I can't think. And I feel like I should know it. Okay, let's get that in the right place. You can get that back up. Alright. The silence. Let's do this. So, the silence. The silence. Such a good character, just a good monster, really. I mean, they're not entirely explained, but my theory on the silence, and I really like the idea of this, and I don't know how many people have thought of this other than myself, but the design of the silence look a lot like the stereotypical alien. You know, like the stereotypical alien you see like in films from the 1950s with the big bug eyes and circular head. If you actually look at the silence, that's their sort of overall design. And I personally really like that about them because of their powers. And the powers being they show up, you don't remember them, but there's always like an imprint of them in your head, in the back of your mind. And it's kind of like, you know, all those abduction stories that you hear that people tell, like, oh, I was abducted by aliens, but I don't quite remember it, and they describe a very vague kind of picture. It could just be the silence implanting certain ideas into your head, trying to manipulate you to work for them. And the black suit, I think that's to do with the old Men in Black, Illuminati sort of, you know, mission. And the thing is, Illuminati, the real world order, the silence have been ruling the planet for years and years, and the humans didn't think they were, which is the same as the Illuminati and the Men in Black. So it's definitely a case to think about in terms of their design. Yeah, you should talk about the silence. It's Snake and the Snake Dance. The snake. It's the snake from the Fifth Doctor. I didn't mean K9. K1. Oh, K1. Sorry, I read that wrong. Right. Okay. K1. K1. I'm trying to think who that is. Refresh my memory which episode that was from, because I can't think. Is it the chameleon robot? I remember that one. No, I'm looking that out. Yeah, because I remember a robot, chameleon, which was with the Fifth Doctor, I think, and yeah, it was incredibly. I don't know if you are talking about the chameleon. I'm just going to talk about it anyway. It was an incredibly expensive prop that cost the BBC quite the bit of money, but only one person knew how to operate it, and that person sadly died shortly after introducing it into the show. And then he kind of sort of disappeared for a while and then died. So the BBC wasted quite a bit of money on this this robot prop. So that's a bit of a shame. But yeah, I think the Silence's design is really clever. It goes on deeper levels with the idea of alien reduction, stereotypical aliens, and I think the reason, like in the Doctor Who lore, why there's a stereotypical alien, you know, like is the human consciousness of what an aliens look like, is because of the silence, because everyone looks at the silence and then goes, I remember this, but they don't remember it fully, so they just put it up as a piece of fiction. And I think that's really clever. Whether Stephen Moffat was thinking about that in the design process, I really don't know. But I like to think that was the case behind it. Yeah, so that's my view of the silence. And when the prophecy came about this, you know, when the Doctor's name is asked, the question is asked, silence must fall. I don't know how many got this instantly when that was said, but at the end of the episode, again, spoilers, but at the end of the episode of the final episode of series 6, when the question was finally revealed was the Doctor's name. I don't know how many else out there thought this, but I thought of it, and I think I'm correct, that the question isn't referring to the silence, like the literal order will fall. It's referring to the question, as in whenever when asked the question, silence must fall, otherwise something bad will happen, as in like you mustn't answer the question. And basically that's what he was alluding to. And in the name of the Doctor, basically what they was trying to prevent, and this is how I explained the name of the Doctor, was the Doctor being wiped out of existence from the Great Intelligence going into the Storm Time Stream, which the Silence foresaw coming, which means ultimately if the Doctor never existed, the universe itself would die so many times over. So the Silence was trying to prevent that from happening by killing him before he dies in Trenzalore. And the reason they call themselves the Silence is basically because it's a religious order. The Silence is basically saying you should remain silent from answering the question, but they know the Doctor will answer the question to save his friends or whatever. At least that's my thought. If that is the case, open for interpretation at this moment. First ever Tom Baker episode. Oh right, I know what you're talking about now. You mean yeah. I remember that episode now. I honestly didn't know that's what the robot was called. I just remember the episode called The Robot. So I didn't realise it was called K1. But yeah, I have seen that episode where he regenerates into it. I saw that one. It was one of the first episodes I've ever seen of Doctor Who, other than like my first Doctor was Sylvester McCoy, but my first Doctor, other than Sylvester McCoy, was Tom Baker, and it was actually that episode. But I didn't know that's what it was called. So that's something. I saw a picture recently of the 12th with a bow tie on. I don't quite like that. Anyone else agree? I've not seen this picture. Is it official or is it a Photoshop? Is he just wearing a bow tie in general? Because I really doubt the 12th Doctor is going to wear a bow tie for some reason. I hope you guys are enjoying this video, by the way. I don't mean to keep saying this, but it really does help me out when you click that like button. So if you've not clicked it yet and you are enjoying the video thus far, please do click that like button. It would be truly appreciated. How long has this stream been going on? Probably about 2 hours, I think. I'm not sure, but it's been going on for quite long. I saw it was photoshopped. Yeah, that probably makes sense. People just, I assume, I've not seen the picture, but I'm assuming that it's just him in Matt Smith's outfit, which makes sense because he will be wearing that outfit when he regenerates. But I assume he'll probably instantly ditch the bow tie the moment he regenerates, so I suppose we'll see. Does anyone else think of the silence, and does anyone think the silence will appear in the 50th? The fifth. That was a lisp. Does anyone else think the silence are going to appear again in the 50th or in the following series? Because if what I said about the silence is correct, I mean the purpose of them kind of isn't really needed anymore. But the question is, why are they scavenging on Earth? That's my question. And my further question is, what have they done since the whole Earth instance from in 1960? During the episode The Astronaut. All good questions. All good questions. I'm sorry I get a bit quiet during these segments. It's a bit difficult to sort of come up with conversation, draw, and also read comments all at the same time. But I am trying. I'm definitely trying. Let's colour in the head first before I draw the body. I think that might make things a tad easier. I've seen. I truly hope so. Yeah, I do hope they're in it in some capacity. But I'm kind of thinking, this is just a thought, that the silence won't be in the 50th, but they will be in the Christmas special. And I think the Christmas special will be called Silent Night, or something along those lines, because Moffat has a thing with the Christmas specials where he likes to do like a play on words with a Christmas story. So Silent Night makes sense as a title for the silence, or alternatively you could call it the 12th day of Christmas, because of the 12th Doctor's regeneration. I really do hope he has a punny Christmassy title though, because I love those. The 12th, either the 12th day of Christmas or Silent Night. That's what I think it should be called. I didn't think of the fact it was probably... I didn't think of the fact that it was probably right after regeneration. Good point. Yeah. Because I don't think he's going to be wearing the same clothes of Matt Smith, and I think he's going to definitely ditch the bow tie the moment he regenerates. I just reckon he's just going to rip it off and throw it on the floor. And I don't reckon he's going to be as silly. That's not to say he's going to be completely serious, but I don't reckon he's not going to be as silly as Matt Smith's Doctor, for very obvious reasons. But, you know, only time will tell. I think when they... There you go, I'm advertising your channel accidentally, but there you go. This is his channel. Go and subscribe to Majora's Mask. Sorry if you didn't want to see your channel then, I do apologise, it keeps happening, and I don't mean it to. But there's some advertisement for you there, some plug-in. I think when they say, when the question is asked, silence will fall means the 11th Doctor's last words will be Doctor Who, and the silence will die out at some point, I don't know. I think that's... I think, personally, I mean, that could be the case, but I think it's more of a riddle, because Moffat's always deals with sort of riddles, and since the silence themselves wasn't actually in when the question was asked, I generally think it means the silence of the question, because when what's his name, the blue guy, Dorium, something like that. When the blue guy, I'm just going to do the blue guy because I can't think of his name off the top of my head, was telling to the Doctor about the question, he said to him that silence must fall, and then silence will fall, should I say, and then he says, but a more accurate translation of the prophecy is silence must fall. And then basically it's almost as if the silence are giving a warning to the Doctor, saying silence must fall, because it won't fall and it needs to, otherwise the tomb in the name of the Doctor will open and all hell will break loose. Pandora's box, if you will. Which again, Pandora's box, obviously there's another advertisement, obviously referencing the Pandorica and the whole Doctor being unleashed thing, so it kind of makes sense a little bit. This shading's not going right at all. Let's do it again. The favourite headline I saw after they had announced Peace as the 12th was one talking about how Tennant was voted the best Doctor. Yeah, I've not actually I've not seen that article, but I have to point this out, and I thought this was really funny. I saw moments after the Doctor, the 12th Doctor, was announced on Facebook on a Doctor Who fan page. A girl commented. Obviously, she was a Tennant fangirl, but she, in her defence, didn't say she didn't like the new Doctor. But I thought what she said was kind of funny, because she said she doesn't like the Doctor that he's old because she won't be able to swoon over him, and he's not British. And I just went. I was going to say something to her, but there was no reply button. But she said ultimately at the end, but she's still looking forward to him and seeing how he does, and thinks he's going to do great. But I just thought it funny that she's a Tennant, likes Tennant because she obviously swooned over him, and says that the guy's not British when he's clearly is British because he's Scottish, and the best thing is a Tennant was Scottish as well. So, it's just kind of funny that a Tennant fangirl didn't realise that Tennant was Scottish and doesn't realise that Scottish is British. But it's just things that happen, I suppose. Wow, it's live. I didn't know. Yeah, it's live. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Sorry, Friends reference. Don't know why I made a Friends reference, but whatever. Yeah, it's live, so I really do appreciate you popping out, seeing it's live. Hope you're enjoying the drawing, hope you're enjoying the chat. If you are, please do remember to leave a like, leave a comment, tell me what you're thinking about, ask me some questions, and I'm talking about Doctor Who at the moment, was the title. And yeah, I'm having a fun time, everyone's having a fun time, hope everyone's having a fun time. I'm drawing a Photoshop, which is pretty cool. Don't know why I've ever thought of doing this last time. Actually, I did, but we had problems last time, that was the reason. But there you go. Actually, that shadow was a bit too deep, I think. There we go. And a bit on top. Okay. And now we need a bit of a darker grey, so really dark. Merge that down. So how's everyone doing? Is anyone else? So basically, obviously now I've asked this question a few times, and obviously I've got new people in here since. Is anyone going to Summer in the City? Because I really would love to see you guys there, and I'm planning on doing a video, and I would love as many people as possible to collab. And if you're if you watch my videos, it'd be really cool if you was in one of my videos. So I'm doing a massive collab at Summer in the City, hopefully. And if you want to come in and join me, please do let me know if you can. Because that would be awesome sauce. Any more questions about Doctor Who as well? Because I'm running out of steam on the silence, because I think I've talked about them a little bit too much. There, I think. Comments. I'm having fun. Awesome! I love it! And there's your channel. Stop doing that. I really need to stop doing that. Yeah. I'm super happy that everyone's having fun. I do need to... Summer in the City, as in you don't know what it is. It's basically a massive... Basically, if you don't have tickets now, you can't go, really, because it's a ticket event. It's basically a massive YouTube event in London, and it's literally in 2 weeks. And basically a whole bunch of YouTubers are going there, and it's just basically a massive meetup in London for 2 days. And it's going to have like music, live shows from certain YouTubers, just a place to meet people. and people will be making videos, networking. It's going to be a fun little time, and it's in London. But as I said, if you've not got tickets now, you won't get in, unfortunately. But there is a pre-Summer in the City event which is happening on the Friday, the day before. And if you want to go to that, that's free. It doesn't require a ticket, but again, is in London. I won't be going to that though. I might show up briefly, I guess, but ultimately it won't be going. Let's move that down. So let's draw this body. Oh, sad. I know, it's sad times if you're not going. There's your channel, by the way, again. Why does he keep doing that? I don't know. But anyway, there's your channel. I like promoting people anyway, so it's okay. It's all cool. But yeah, it's it's going to be fun. I'm going to be filming, so obviously there'll be videos from there coming soon on the channel. But yeah, it's kind of a shame that people aren't going. So what's everyone's favourite episode of Doctor Who, either from the classic series or the new series, or overall? Or each series, to make the question a little bit easier, because to be fair, it's quite difficult to actually narrow episodes down. So let's just do it from the new series for now. Favourite episode from series 1 with Christopher Eccleston. Mine is either Dalek or the Empty Child / Doctor Dances. Sounds awesome, but unfortunately I'll be too busy to go Friday. That's a shame. But it will be probably pretty awesome. But yeah, favourite episode from season 1 with Eccleston. Anyone at all? Do color in silence. They're silent and they're deadly, and they kill people and such. Sorry, singing. I don't mean to do that sometimes. Is anyone? I'll read some little comments in a sec. I just a sort of subject matter just popped in my head. Is anyone watching like some Geek Week stuff on YouTube? Because I saw one by Ashens. If you don't know who Ashens is, I suggest you go and look that up because he's awesome. Earlier today, and he's put up a video called Nightmare, and I can't believe they've got the actual guy who used to host Nightmare. I don't even know what Nightmare even is, but it's an old 1980s to early 90s game show where like these kids go through like a Dungeoneer kind of thing, and it's like a virtual reality kind of world, and they have to sort of get through it without dying. It's really a good show. I loved it, and I had such a blast of nostalgia from that. I mean, it wasn't just Ashens. Ashens was the Dungeoneer. Emma Blackery was one of the people that directed him. Amazing Phil was one of the people that directed him, and another guy I don't know. And they got the original host back and everything else. It was just great, and it was really fun to watch. Boomtown. Boomtown, even though I don't like the Slovenes, it wasn't a bad episode. I just thought the villains were a bit ridiculous. But a good episode, though. Good episode. Let's move on to Series 2 with David Tennant. Favourite episode from that is definitely the Satan Pit / Part 2. the Impossible Planet or whatever order that was in. It's really good episode. It was very scary. Loved the villain. So much better than the finale. For the new series, I'd say, oh, there's your channel. I'm advertising you. For the new series, I'd say Partners in Crime as well as Blink. Yes, Blink was an amazing episode. Partners in Crime was decent. I really did like the Adipose. It's funny. I saw the purely certain video today where they filmed in the actual tile set. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't actually watch the video though, but I skimmed through it. I don't know. I didn't really listen to the song though, unfortunately. So I don't really know if I'd like the song or not. I know it's from their album Still Got Legs, apparently, but you know I didn't really watch it. But yeah, Community Circuit, pretty cool, pretty cool. I'm not a huge fan of Chameleon Circuit, I'll be honest with you. I like two or three other songs, but I wouldn't really, you know, I don't go out of my way to listen to them. But I do like them. And obviously I like Charlie, you know, Charlie's so cool, like his channel and such. Not a big fan of Alex Day. No offense to anyone that does like Alex Day, but not a fan. Yeah. It's a little bit. My favourite episode from series 3 is Blink. There's no questions there. Favourite episode from series 4 is either Silence in the Library or Wrong Turn. Or Midnight. Midnight was really good as well. Series 1 was really good. Favourite from series, let's say the specials would be Waters and Mars, because that was just really good. I mean, who did seriously? Did any of you not like that episode, Waters and Mars? I just mean, oh, it's so good with Time Lord Victorious and the ending. Oh, that ending was just so good. And then we had the End of Time, and that was just disappointing. I might get slated for that, but End of Time wasn't all that great. Favorite episode from Series 5 would be the 11th Hour. Favorite episode from Series 6, either The Doctor's Wife or The Girl Who Waited. Series 7 would be, I'm going to say Hyde or Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. I'm not going to draw his legs because I can't be bothered. I might draw his hand actually, hold on. Let's get down there. I only know of one of their songs. Yeah, I really don't listen to them all that often. I've probably heard two songs, and I think that's Exterminate, Regenerate, which I like, and an awful lot of Running, which I also like. It wasn't Martin was good. I liked End of Time. The thing is about End of Time, I just thought it was a bit too. I mean, it wasn't like it didn't have its good points because I mean the regeneration scene was just brilliant, and the way he died saving Wilf was just one of my favourite scenes in Doctor Who altogether. I mean, I love Wilf as a character, and I love Donna as a character. My problem though with the End of Time is, like for example, there's the bit where the Doctor falls from the spaceship thing into the room where the Time Lords are returning, and he didn't die, whereas the Fifth Doctor fell off a much shorter height and died instantly. So it's like little things like that just sort of I didn't like about it, and I think I didn't really like the direction they did with the Master. Like they set him up as the villain, and then the next episode they just instantly dropped it. It was I don't know, a bit of kick in the teeth because I'm a bit of a Master fan. But you know, not a bad episode overall, but I just thought the weakest of all of them. I forgot the name of the episode, but the one with the Silurians in season 5. Hungry Earth and I can't remember the other one, but it was definitely Hungry Earth. Yeah, that was good. I like that one. It was a very good episode, actually. What is your worst episode of Doctor Who you've ever seen, ever? Or, you know, my worst episode I've ever seen is either The Twin Dilemma, that was just really awful, or possibly the episode with the Absorbaloff in it, or the Olympics one with the girl with crayons. That was just awful. I'm getting close to finishing this drawing, guys, so I might draw one more after this, so please leave your suggestions and I'll pick my favourite one, and that's what I will draw. Love of Monsters, that was the name of the episode. Yeah, that was awful. Oh my god. Whoever thought Love of Monsters was a good idea? I mean, no. No. I mean, the episode, it's just the concrete slab. What are they doing? There's even a blowjob joke in it. Right there, the blowjob joke. Why is he a blowjob joke in Doctor Who? This shouldn't be here. Oh my god. It's so just not good. Not good at all. Whose idea was casting Peter Kay as a villain? I mean, really? Peter Kay? Jesus. I think your chat is a bit laggy. I sent those messages ages ago. I recommend using the automatic update thing. I was actually going to use the automatically update thing, but that actually doesn't work because I had to keep refreshing the page in order to make things update before. So I'm just keeping them refreshing the pages because either way they're not working. That's the reason I'm not using the automatically update, because I tested it out at the beginning of the chat and it just didn't work, unfortunately. So that's the reason that I'm not doing that. I'll try it again though, out of curiosity. Let's see if it works then. How do I do that? How do I have to refresh the page? I don't know how to do that. That's weird. Oh well. Draw the new Doctor, otherwise draw the 11th Doctor with bow tie and fez. Maybe. What am I doing? Arms really winding me up. Let's extend those fingers a little bit because they're quite small. I'll do, I suppose. Sorry I've gone all silence now, I'm just trying to think of things to say, really. I mean... Oh, I'm sorry, that episode was just so bad. I mean, as Doctor Light episodes go, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. Obviously, Blink was amazing, but the first Doctor Light episode was just so bad. Oh, I just did that. It was just so bad. Not good at all. And you know what really annoyed me is the episode where the the girl where she had an overactive imagination and kids was going missing and such. That episode wasn't very good either. But what annoyed me in the real world, and this is really stupid, but I know I'm going to say it anyway. In the real world, in Doctor Who universe, they kept the old logo of the Olympic Games. You know, because obviously when it was announced that the Olympic Games was going to be in London, that was the logo. But then they changed it in real life, and then it made that episode a little bit... it made it a continuity error, and it annoys me. And to mention, the logo was such better anyway. And... you know, if everyone's ever seen the episode Love is Golden something or other, which is the Olympic special. Where the hell was the 10th Doctor during that? And also, why was there Doctor Who at the Olympics? Well, what? What is wrong with the world? Because apparently there was going to be, but it got cancelled or something, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I hope they make more Jelly Baby references. Ah, Jelly Babies. Loved by the 4th Doctor, the 7th Doctor, the 8th Doctor, and the 11th Doctor, I think. Kinda. I think there's probably a couple more, but those are the ones I most remember using those references. Again, if you're new watching this, please do give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think of the podcast. Podcast? It's not even a podcast. Let me know what you think of the live show. Let me know if you want me to do more. Definitely going to do this drawing thing because I think it's definitely working out quite well. Just realised the hands are wrong because I should have done it without colour. So let's go and fix that. Yeah, I messed this up. Sorry, I'm leaving the hands like they are because I couldn't be bothered changing them. Better. Now I've put automatic comments on, and I don't know if it's working or not, so if you could just leave a comment right now and I will see if it comes up and see if it's working and so on and so forth. Let's use a background. Let's use what I used in this. Merged. It's just a saturation. Let's make this a little darker. That colour, I think. And then I'm just going to save that. Silence. Ping. Push up. Save. Okay, I don't know if that's worked, so I'm just going to refresh the page and see if any new comments pop up. Yeah, the automatic comments just does not work. Yeah, it does not work, so I'm just going to disable that because it just clearly does not work. I want to just go back from your channel. undo. I want something. Too far. Redo. Yes. That's what I wanted. Copy. Okay, let's read some of these comments. I don't think the audio was updated. It's like, yeah, I know. It's like the Master 2 going for gold. Yeah, that's the name of the episode. The thing I loved most about the Jelly Baby thing was the fact they weren't Jelly Babies at all. You mean in the 11th Doctor thing? Because the 4th Doctor definitely was Jelly Babies. With the 11th Doctor, it was Yami Dodgers, but it was kind of a nod to it. But there is Jelly Babies. Does anyone here... Okay, this is going to sound really sort of weird and off topic, but it's actually not off topic at all. Does anybody watch or has ever seen Ben 10? Because, and the reason I bring this up is simply the creators of Ben 10 are Doctor Who fans. I'm just going to go back on camera for a bit. So let me just sort that out. Hello, and I'm back. Okay, basically, if you ever watched Ben 10, there's an episode, I can't remember what it's called, but it's about a... Basically, okay, if you've never seen Ben 10, the concept of Ben 10 is basically this guy, it's a little kid about 10 years old, has found this watch that basically gives him all different kind of alien powers, but he doesn't really know how to use them. And the episode I'm going to be talking about right now is where he's quite far into it, you understand how to use it a little bit, and basically, this time traveller appears to him. And this time traveller says to him that this is not the first time the time traveller has met Ben, but it's the first time Ben has met this time traveller. We later find out in the episode this time traveller's name is the Professor. Not the Doctor, but the Professor. And then there's a bit in this very same episode where he offers him some jelly beans instead of jelly babies. And then basically, at the very end of the episode, he saves, the Professor saves his ex-lab assistant from a disaster that happened, which caused him to be a time traveller. And then he goes travelling the universe with his companion and meets Ben 10 again in some point in the future, or his past. It's Doctor Who. I watched that episode going, oh my god, this is the Doctor. The Doctor's in Ben 10. And... yeah. That was amazing. I mean, I liked Ben 10 beforehand, but that episode was awesome. There's so many reasons. And if you've never seen that episode, you need to look it up. Because if you love Doctor Who and you like Ben 10, then that episode is just amazing. Just because of all the references, and I'm just screaming at the screen like, it's the Doctor. And the funny thing as well, the Professor is what Ace, the Seventh Doctor's companion, used to call the Doctor. So I don't know if it was a direct nod to that as well. But yeah, that was an awesome episode. Oh, you know what, I might not draw something else because I'm actually getting a little bit tired now, and I've been recording this for like about I don't know how many hours. About, what does it say? What does it say how long this is? Total view time hours, average. I can't tell. Oh, there it is. 2 hours. Yeah, but 2 hours. This has been a very, very long, a very long live show, and most of it has been talking about Doctor Who, so I can really go on a bit. I think this is a safe and great move. I mean, sure, it may be old, but the character he is playing, the Doctor, is 953 years old. Technically, he's about 2000 now, but yes, that is correct. Is the one where Ben is older, but in the original series? No, Ben's the same age he's been in the original series, but he does meet this time traveller again in one of the later episodes where he's older. Going on to Mr. Josh HHYT's comment, the Doctor's in Matt Smith's era of Doctor Who is technically probably about 2000 years old, because there's a bit in one of the episodes, I think in series 7 or 6, where he goes travelling alone for a while, and it's stated that it's... yeah, no, series 6, yeah, where he goes travelling alone for a while, and it's like 2,000 years apart. You know, they say in The Impossible Astronaut, he's like 2,000 years apart, so therefore he's aged 2,000 years since that point. And not to mention as well, the Doctor tends to lie about his age. I mean, it's really funny because David Tennant and like the Ninth Doctor kept on saying he was 900, yet there's an episode of Sylvester McCoy where he says he's over 1,000. So clearly, the Doctor doesn't want people to know his age because of some great secret, or B, he's just insecure that he's old, which is interesting because obviously the next Doctor is an old man. And also, funnily enough, the second Doctor, see, I can go on forever about this, the second Doctor didn't want to regenerate into an old person because when he was regenerating, he was forced to regenerate by the Time Lords, and the Time Lords gave him some options, and one of the options was an old man, and he didn't like that he was an old man. He didn't want to be old, so he said it's too old. So it's funny how the Doctor himself really is insecure about his own age and doesn't like being an old person. Apparently, that's canon, by the way. So that's not just me saying, "Oh, I don't like the Doctor being old." The Doctor has been old, but he doesn't like it, and I just think that's funny. But yeah, I do like the new Doctor in a sense. I would prefer, though, I'll be honest, I would prefer a younger man playing the Doctor, but I'm okay with it being an older man, and I'm okay with this guy being an older Doctor. Yeah, so thanks for the comment. Again, if you're watching, only just started watching this, please do remember to thumb up the video. It really does help me out, and that would be awesome if you do that. Again, you don't have to, but I will love you forever if you do, and even if you don't, I'll still send you some love anyway. There is an episode in the original series where he meets his older self. I think is about 30. Oh, I know what episode you're talking about. Yeah, that's not the episode with the professor in it, though. But yeah, I have seen that one. The professor one, it's like on like a sort of old abandoned research facility, and this monster is walking around, and everything this monster touches like ages, like the area it touches by like thousands of years. So everything it touches just decays and dies because the monster is like a sort of time monster. It's like the monster's like stuck like 1,000 years in the future sort of thing, but it's leaving a ghost in the present day and the present, and so basically it's sort of bringing back everything it touches from the future to the present as it's walking around. It's really quite clever, and it's definitely could be a Doctor Who villain. And then obviously the ending, I'm not going to spoil it because I just think the ending's really good. But the ending of it and how they stop the monster and such, so it's really good. So just search Doctor Who Ben 10, and I'm sure you'll find the episode if you've not seen it. He never gave his aliens any names. Yeah. Comments. He always wanted to be ginger. It's going to bring a real classic feeling to the series again. Yeah, it is. And I'm not going to say that's a bad thing, because I obviously like the classic series, but it's definitely a bold move, because, especially really when you think about the current series and the direction Stephen Moffat has taken it in, because he's been really trying to hammer it in America. And considering, I'm not going to say Doctor Who's Americanized, because it's not, but the new series definitely is more catered towards Americans than the classic series ever was, so it's kind of interesting how they're going to work that into the series as it is. But yeah, it's definitely different, and that's the reason why the show has lasted 50 years, and definitely the reason why I'm still interested in it. I mean, some people ask me that, well, why am I so interested in Doctor Who opposed to most other science fiction shows? I think it's just because it's 50 years old, and I think it's such a legend that, that it's 50. And the way it still keeps going is amazing with it being the same characters. I mean, like Star Trek is about 50 years old now as well, next year, I think. And that isn't really the same because it's never the same characters. And you might see the Doctor obviously always changes, but it's still the same man, it's still the same person, and that's what I like about the show. And obviously anything can happen in Doctor Who. It's a show that can reinvent itself countless times over and over again, with the TARDIS being a story generator essentially. He's always. I don't remember that episode. It sounds awesome. It is a really good episode then of Ben 10. Because, I mean, obviously when I watched it, I was just going, "Oh, this guy's kind of like the Doctor," and then I went, "Oh my God, it is the Doctor!" So good, and he comes up again later on. If you ever watched Ben 10, it's Alien Force or something, which I haven't watched a lot of that, but I've watched 1 or 2 episodes where he appears again with his companion and such, and it's a really good episode. And I'm sure, I'm not 100% positive, so don't quote me on this, but in the episode where he appears again in it in Ben 10 Alien Force. I'm sure he says it's very wibbly wobbly timey wimey. I could be mistaken about that though, but I'm sure he says something like that. So yeah, Ben 10's awesome. just simply because of that, and it's very well written as well. So yeah, it's a good episode. I mean, even if you don't like Ben 10, I recommend that episode is for a Doctor Who fan, and just pretend it's Doctor Who and Ben is just the random character in the episode. Just watch it that way, and you won't be disappointed. It's so good. I want to talk. Okay, before I go, I'm going to talk about one more thing. I want to see if anyone's ever seen this episode because it's kind of a little bit obscure. It's a David Tennant episode. And it's an animated David Tennant episode called Dreamland. Has anyone ever watched Dreamland? And what did you think of Dreamland? The disadvantage of an older Doctor is he can't run about as much. What's your opinion on the 13th Doctor? By the way, technically, it is the 13th Doctor. The thing is, though, about this new Doctor being old, I've said this on Facebook, and I agree, like, the problem with casting an old man as a Doctor is not going to be able to run as much, but I don't think this guy looks as old as everyone keeps saying he is. He's like, I think he's about 50-something. And, yeah, that's old, but looking at him, he doesn't look that old, to be honest. And he looks quite fit, you know, he doesn't look out of shape, I mean by that. He looks like he could probably run, and let's be fair here, this is TV, so TV magic can make someone look like they're running if they need to. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like all they really need to do is just film him from the back, have a stunt double just running instead of him if they really wanted to. But I don't know if that's what they're going to do. But yeah, has anyone ever seen the episode Dreamland? It's a David Tennant episode. It is animated really poorly, but it's animated. I pray there will be not a Doctor Who US. Please, 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 America's let us have this one. There won't be. I really doubt there'll ever be an actual Doctor Who US. I mean, the Paul McGann movie was essentially Doctor Who US, and I don't think that was too bad, but the direction they wanted to take it, though, was not particularly very good. It's kind of like Torchwood as well, Miracle Day. It's not as... It was pretty bad, not because necessarily it was Americanized. I think the fact that they tried to make it 10 episodes long to cope with American audiences, and they kind of just stretched out the plot too much. I mean, there was something there was an interesting plot line, but it was stretched, and the ending was just... I'm going to spoil it for you, because I don't give a... Honestly, if you've never watched Miracle Day, good! It's 10 episodes long. It's about the world just not dying for some reason, but Captain Jack can now die for some reason. And it goes on, stretches on for far too long. There's so many dead ends in the story. And then it turns out to be caused by a giant space vagina. Yes, I said that correctly. It's a giant space vagina. That was the villain in Torchwood Miracle Day. Anyway, Dreamland. It's a good episode. Watch it. I vaguely remember the animated ones. Which one was Dreamland? The Dreamland one it was CG animated. It was set in Roswell, and basically it was about the alien that crashed in Roswell. And to be honest with you, I felt when I watched that episode, it had a very classic Doctor Who kind of tone to it, as opposed to what the modern series is, and I liked it because of that. So it's kind of interesting. It was like a classic tone to it, but with David Tennant in it. So, you know, and also the Doctor's daughter was technically in it. The actress, not the daughter, but the actress was in it, which is Tennant's now current wife or girlfriend or something. You didn't really enjoy it. It's kind of difficult to get into, in my opinion, because of the animation. But I don't know. Once you get past it, it's kind of clever. I kind of like it. but yeah, it's difficult to get into. I mean, I watched it on YouTube in parts. I have it on DVD. I don't know why I've not watched it again, to be honest. But yeah, it was okay. Miracle Day though, terrible. Awful episode, awful series. Awful. You liked Miracle Day, but the original series was much better. I liked Children of Earth. That was like the best piece of television we like ever. It was that good, and obviously the 12th Doctor is in Children of Earth, so that's interesting. But and I loved his character in that, by the way. I just thought I'd point that out. But Miracle Day, my problem with it is the concept was great. It's just that it stretched on too long, and the ending was just not worth the wait. And it kind of, and my main reason I hated it is because it kind of killed Torchwood. Like, it just got, you know, there's no more Torchwood because of it, because no one will pick it up after it. Especially after Children of Earth being so good, the expectations were set really high. It's really funny though, because Children of Earth never actually did well in America. Wait, do you mean a literal space vagina or what? Well, you know what? I'm just going to show you what it looks like. Just let me Google it and I'll put it up on the screen. Torchwood Miracle Day search. Yes. What's it? Depends if we can find it, to be fair. I forget what it was called. What's it called? Okay, I just googled the word vagina and it shows up, so that's interesting. Okay, I'm going to put on screen share, so let me just do that. Okay, and that's pretty much it. That right there, the thing the two characters are looking at, was the main cause of everything. It's not literally a space vagina, but let's be honest here, that's what it looks like. I actually googled space vagina, that's what actually came up. I'm just going to throw that out there. Yeah. So let's just turn that off. No, I don't want to open that. No, close Safari. I wasn't opening you. Quit. Alright. Okay. So that's that. Yeah, so that wasn't very good. I remember this. Yeah, Torchwood Miracle Day was pretty bad, but it was not so bad that I didn't start watching, but to be honest, I started really watching all of it. Yeah, that's what happened to me. It's like, you watch it and you're like, I'm intrigued by all this ends. It's getting a bit boring now. And then that episode where Jack has a lot of gay sex comes on, and you're just like, I just want to get back to the action. And you know the funniest thing is about Miracle Day, which I read in Doctor Who magazine? Russell T Davies, basically, because it was made in America, there's two different versions of it, and the American version was slightly censored, and the English version was slightly censored. Basically, the American version got a bit more action in it than we did, apparently, and basically the sex scenes were cut in the American version, or to some extent were cut, and basically we got rid of some of the action scenes in our version. But Russell T Davies assured us that, don't worry though, it'll be the same length, if not a bit longer, because we made sure to put in plenty of gay sex scenes with Jack. Thanks, Russell T Davies. I mean, that's what I want to see in my prime time television. It's like prime time, but that's still what I prefer to see over action stuff. Well done. That's what we want to see in Torchwood. Not. I did a 90s thing there. Whatever. You're 16. Look away now. Amazing. Yeah, that's what happened in Miracle Day. Okay, so I'm going to go in a minute, but if you want me to, I've been working on something in Minecraft, and you might like seeing it. It'll be like a preview. Whoever wants to whoever's here in the current room right now, or whoever decides to watch the full 2 hours of this video will see this, and no one else will, because no one else is going to watch a 2-hour video, and no one else who's in this room right now will ever see this. So I've built something in Minecraft that I think you will like, and if you want to see it, let me know. And I'll boot it up now, put the screen share on, and I'll give you a little bit of a tour of what I'm working on as a preview. And that'll be something I'll do. And then after that, I think I'll probably call it a day. So let's just load up Minecraft. Okay. Yeah, sure, but really quick, what are your thoughts on the %0th? I'm assuming you meant to say 50th. Well, basically my thoughts on the 50th of this. I am looking forward to it, but I'm incredibly disappointed with how they're handling it. I mean, we're missing a series. We're missing Series 8 because basically the series we got this year was basically just essentially Series 7 Part 2. And then Stephen Moffat out and out says that the budget for the 50th wasn't all that big because he didn't have a big budget. And that makes me question what happened to the budget for Series 8. Just saying. Well, you saw action, not the type of action you wanted, though. Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, Minecraft. Let me just load it up, and then I'll screen share it, and you know, I'll get into the right position and such, and yeah. I think hopefully my spawn point still works, because to get there I need to kill myself. Yeah, that sounds lovely. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna have to lower the video settings a bit. Okay. It's unfortunate, but I have to do it. So basically, it's going to be super laggy, which is a bit of a shame. Alright, I'm just getting to position, and I'll screen share it for you. As I said, I do apologise for the visual quality of this because I'm running the screen capture software and the video and stuff. It's really laggy, so I've had to like lower this video settings down to tiny, and it's still really laggy. But yeah, where am I? Am I spawned in the right place? Hope so. Where am I? Let me just make it day, because it's kind of dark. Sorry about this, technical difficulties and whatnot and such. But if you are just joining me, please ask me some questions and stuff, and I will try and answer them for you, and that's what we'll do. Okay, I think I spawned in the wrong place. Which is... oh no, here it is, here it is. Okay, that was close. Because I wouldn't have a clue where it is if I spawned in the wrong place. Okay. Alright. Okay. Options. Video settings. Okay. Alright, don't know if you talked about it yet, but what's your opinion about the trailer being shown to Comic-Con? If you like, I could even promote it for you. If you want, that'd be great. Been to see any good films recently? Okay, I'm going to go with address the Comic-Con trailer first while I set this up. Basically, yeah, I think it's abysmal that they've not shown it in this country yet. I think it's one of the... it's a travesty, really. I mean, at the end of the day, it's our show, we pay tax for this, and, you know, it most certainly... I'm opening GarageBand, I don't want to do that. Close, thank you. But at the end of the day, we pay for the program, therefore, we should... it's a trailer. So, I just completely disagree with that. I think at least they could have showed it at the London Comic-Con. Anyway... let's just move this slightly over. This is my TARDIS. It's not done yet. It's still work in progress. But this is the central column. Hold on, it's not working properly because of the render distance. Come on. There's supposed to be a beam coming out. Oh, there it is, slightly. See it? There we go. There we go. But yeah, this is the central column. And it's pretty big, you've got wires and such, slightly inspired by the Tennant TARDIS. The roundels, I like the wooden design because of McGann and such. But yeah, then if you come down these stairs, a little bit of sort of like bookshelves and such, and a little sitting area. It's a fountain thing with the bridge. And then a bit more. We've got like this room here, we've got a hallway. Again, I apologise for the lag in this, but it's going to have to be the case. Now this bit of the room isn't done properly yet, so you're going to have to forgive me. But this is coming here. And there's no real official way of getting into this room yet, so let me just drop down here. This is the cloister room. If you don't know what the cloister room is, it's the room where the cloister bell is. And the cloister bell, it goes off whenever there's some sort of distress. Come on, fly. There we go. And this is basically the cloister bell. It looks like that. Yeah. I'm just going to come out of here. I'm going to break through the floor because I couldn't be finding the hole again. Okay, maybe not. But yeah, that's the TARDIS. It is my home. Enough Minecraft. Up a lot of stuff. So I'm going to leave that now. I'm going to switch back to screen view. And I'm going to refresh the page. So yeah, that's my TARDIS. What I've been working on in Minecraft for the past year. Not just a TARDIS, I've been working on a town and such as well to go with it, and I will eventually make that map to be downloaded. I couldn't agree more. I wasn't even aware it had been shown at Comic-Con until now. Piss take. Yeah, it's ridiculous. The Doctor's technically the 13th. Yes, he is technically the 13th. I'll go on to that in a sec. Oh wow, it's really good. Jesus, that must have taken ages, but looks awesome, and I'm a bit jealous. I just got the TARDIS mod, where you can teleport and such. Well, with the current version of Minecraft, you can use control blocks to teleport if you program it correctly. And what I intend on doing is I'm building a town which is like far away from the interior of the TARDIS, and I'm going to put like little blue boxes around with a button on it, and then you click the button, it'll be attached to a control block, which will then teleport you to the entrance of the TARDIS, and it'll look like it's bigger on the inside. And yeah, that's my plan anyway, and I do intend on making it for download. If anyone's interested in downloading the map once it's either finished or near finished, there will be like a little treasure hunt I'll hide in there, and then some little Doctor Who references like sprinkled around the town and such, which you can just find, just like a little map for fun. There will be no major storyline or anything like that, so it's just for fun mostly. But yeah, that will be readily available eventually. As for the what's my opinion on the 13th regenerations, I assume you mean in terms of the lives of the Doctor. Basically only has 12 lives, 13 lives, 12 regenerations, and he's on the 13th right now. And yeah, I honestly don't think it's going to be the last, because, well, River's Song gave the Doctor her remaining regenerations. If they don't use that, I think they're going to almost definitely come up with some sort of thing to get around that. They'll definitely do something, because if the show is still popular, they're not just going to let it die, because it could still make money off it. So the 13th Doctor being the last Doctor is definitely not the case, and if he is the 13th Doctor, I hope they do address the 12 life thing, because I really do want to see them address it on screen, and I want the Doctor to be scared that he thinks it's his last life. That's what I want to see with this new Doctor, and that's why I want to see him possibly turning into the Veil Yard at some point. Cool idea, that's smart. Well, that's great. Thank you. So yeah, if there's any more questions... Oh, yeah, there was a film. Seen any good films lately? I'll answer that one before I go. I've seen lately, I've seen quite a lot of films over the past couple of months. I've seen Superman. I thought that film was amazing. It was a really good film. Iron Man 3, again, good film. Hated one thing about it. And if you've not seen it by now, I'm just going to say, well, it's to do with the Mandarin, and that's all I'm going to say. I've seen... the latest film I saw, which was only last week, is The World's End with Simon Pegg, the third Cornetto movie, and oh my god, that is just one amazing film. It's either my favourite of the trilogy of the Cornetto films, or it's my second favourite after Shaun of the Dead, but it's a very close second if it is second. So good, recommend it. Go and see it now in the cinema if you can. If you can't wait for it to go on TV, DVD, but see it. It's such a good film. Brilliant. Anyway, I am seriously going to go now. So if you are watching this and you've not yet clicked that thumbs up button and you've enjoyed what you've seen, please do give me a thumbs up. Please, it will help me out. It would be fantastic if you... Obviously, you don't have to give me a thumbs up. It's just there if you want to and enjoyed it. Oh shit, I saw that recently. Very unexpected ending. Kind of, but at the same time, I kind of sort of seen it coming too. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to spoil it to anyone who's not seen. But yeah, very good film. Very good. But yeah, if you've, as I said, if you've not given me a like, a thumbs up, I will truly appreciate it. It will help me out a lot, and basically just show that you liked what I did here today. Seen them all and loved them all. All Supermen were great. Iron Man twist, I couldn't help but laugh at the world's end. Fantastic. Yeah. And what was I going to say then? Yeah. Expect new videos coming soon. There is going to be a speed drawing coming up next week of Crash Bandicoot. There's going to be a speed drawing coming at some point in the future of Wario, Waluigi in a bar, getting drunk. There's going to be some speed drawings of Doodles. There's going to be some animations coming up. And again, please click the like button, and I'm going to go now because I've been doing this for 2 hours. I really do need a drink. I don't think I've ever talked this long for 2 hours without actually having a drink, and I'm getting a bit hungry. So, you guys were fantastic. This has been fun. It's been amazing. Definitely going to do this again sometime. And yeah, it was really good. I will definitely try and do this more often. Yeah. So, yeah. Let's see how I'm supposed to end this. Stopping stream. How do I stop the stream? How do I stop this? There we go. Okay. Going now. You guys are great. If you're going to Summer in the City, I'll see you there. If not, I won't see you there, obviously. Yeah. So thank you again for coming by. Thank you for watching this. If any of you stayed for the full 2 hours, I commend you, because, wow. If any of you came back and watched the full 2 hours, again, I commend you. Wow. Yeah. Thank you again. I love it. Goodbye.